All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff, Booner, and Lukas. It is May 29th, Thursday. Coming off a great show yesterday, boys. Coming off a great show. And today we got another one. All right, we got Lions OTAs. We got a special guest joining the show.
Yes, sir.
Waiting on confirmation. I think he's still on for today. We'll find out. If not, he's on today. But we're excited to talk to him, man, because he's doing some good things here locally, and he just signed with a new team, Tyler Conklin. So it'll be nice to talk to him. We've already had him on when he was with the Jets. Now he's with a new team, so we'll get to pick his brain on that. And we have some Piston stuff to get to later in the second hour. And also, I'm excited, boys, our first ever top 10 Detroit athletes.
Wow, that's a big one. I will say this. I thought you two boys were, what's the word that I use? Collusion. I colluded today. I will admit, I throw myself under the bus. I didn't know where to put some guys, man.
I was thinking about it, and then I was just like, you know what? I might get fried for this, but it's my list.
That's what I came to that conclusion. I text Jeff, asked a couple things. He said, hey, I had this guy this year, and then he did send a text, and what he ended up texting me, I ended up doing, but I didn't read. He's like, oh, so you didn't read that one text? No, there was a moment, and people would think I'm like weird for this. I'm sitting at my desk at work. I have a whiteboard like this big, and I'm just sitting back in my chair with the 1 through 10 and like 20 names on the side, and I'm just erasing and rewriting. Now I'm pumped up for that though. The top 10 athletes is that should be a pretty big one, because I know that's a big debate in Detroit over the last month or so. So I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah, I guess the way we're doing it or factoring it, I know Boone's coming with more of the popularity side.
No.
I came with more strictly player for player. Just
Jeff refuses to be like, give a guy credit for.
Your slappy top 10 list, Boone? Is that what it is?
It's not slappy. No, I just said, hey, when you do top athletes in a city, you're talking about they are an athlete and you're the city of Detroit, where it's just not strictly like, how athletic is this guy? Like, if that's the case,
no, not athletic.
throw my own name in that list. But we're talking about like athletes in Detroit. What do they mean to the city? What's their popularity? Do the fans love them? Are they fan favorites? Are they actually good at their position? What are they like in the league they're in? All of that, I think, factors in. I don't think it's just, hey, who's the best player? I think there's a lot of different factors to it. That's what I was struggling with, and I ended up.
I'm interested, and I was excited to see yours. I haven't seen it yet, but seeing yours, I think, is going to be the most interesting.
Don't look at my Twitter, because I did put my top 5 out.
All right, I didn't look.
I just wanted to get the people talking a little bit. Maybe the tweet blows up, and then we can get the link in there to the show. You know what I mean? See, I'm thinking a little bit there.
All right.
Hey, shout out TJ. Said, shout out, fellas. Had to drop in, let you know tonight's episode of Jeopardy had a category called Leading from the Front.
There we go. Oh, so it is a saying. It is a saying. Okay, I was told that was a made-up saying from me. Okay. Thank you, TJ.
I think they heard it from watching the show, Boone.
It may be
from the front.
They had the lines on there at one point, so maybe they were like, "Hey, watch this Crunch Time." Crunch Time Sports. Heard they have a good trivia show every Tuesday. And they're like, all right,
well, not this Tuesday. That we didn't have one.
I
was thinking we could have just done the Detroit Grand Prix is in Detroit this week, and then NASCAR's the next week. We could have just done motorsports. We could do that next Tuesday.
Here's the thing. I have no clue what to ask.
Research, Google, AI. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I don't use AI enough. Am I the only one?
I don't.
I never use it.
AI creeps me out.
At work, dude, they like talk. I talk on phones at work, and they're like, it's getting to a point to where it's, you're sitting there, and they're like talking about one day that there might be this world to where the AI is listening to customers and telling you what their emotions feel like, and to say this back because the sales. It's just like, it's crazy, bro. It makes no sense to me.
Well, you know what? AI is taking over. we had Kabinda on yesterday. At least we're going out pretty strong. All right. It was a pretty fun couple days. Hey, OTAs are happening, by the way. So the only snippets or footage or anything we know of is coming out from the Lions directly. I think tomorrow is when they allow media there, if I'm not mistaken. So then you'll see more reporting. So tomorrow's show we'll have a lot more from OTAs, but so far we have clips like these happening from OTAs, which is essentially just guys going through and doing drills. I mean, there's
Tim Patrick, no gloves.
TP12,
gloveless,
no glove. No, that is not DPJ.
It's not.
Is that Ronnie Bell? Is that Ronnie Bell?
Oh my, who is 19?
I'll look it up.
I think it's
Leave
Ronnie
that to
Bell.
me, boys.
Who is 19?
I got you. I got it.
Up.
Stall until then. It's Dominic Lovett.
I mean,
I really thought I had something cooking there. Not gonna lie.
Is it Lovett?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I don't know why I thought he was like a higher number.
By the way, the AI, Easy said, I'm cooking up an AI to cancel Jeff for life. I would love to see what you're cooking up there.
The creation. Drop
don't do me like that, Easy. Come on now. Shout out Easy, man.
Easy does love AI, man.
He uses it all the time.
Together, it'd be like 2 a.m. We'd be watching Sopranos, and he would just have the most random AI idea, just trying to lay out a video for the next day. He loves AI.
He probably asked AI for his arguments. I wouldn't even be shocked. Easy, you probably spit to that AI. Give me points, which is
AI
smart, actually.
Give me every negative stat about Jared Goff.
That honestly is kind of smart. That is kind of smart. Maybe I should start doing that. But hey, before we
can't win an argument without it.
Oh no, I don't need it today. You're getting fried today.
What do we have today going on?
These Detroit athletes. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'll tell you that, huh? I'll tell you that. All right. Rob Parker. I want to get Rob Parker on the show, actually.
By default.
I don't know.
I know that would be
maybe it would be good. I don't know if I could handle it, to be honest. I might say something that I can't take back.
To have Rob Parker on the show
gets canceled.
Just yelling about stuff would be awesome. All right,
I would be screaming awesome. Back at him.
Well,
come on, Boone.
He had another. I don't think I've ever seen one positive Lions take out of Rob Parker, and he's a legend here locally. Although you might hate his takes.
Is he? Can someone break that down for me? Maybe I'm too young. How is he a legend locally? I know he wrote for a paper.
Legend. He's a legend in the media realm. He was
on ESPN for a little bit, wasn't he?
Well, he started basically him and T-Foss kind of had similar starts where they started writing and then they elevated, and then Rob Parker got to like national and started doing stuff. So he's pretty famous. But he was started off locally. But I respect him. Don't agree with a lot of the shit he says. Okay, don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says. But he did say this on the Lions. So let's take a listen to Rob Parker and why he believes the Lions window is closed. All right, let's take a listen to Rob Parker. Oh, geez, get ready for this.
This is when I turn into the negative Nelly.
On the left.
The window is opened and closed, the Lions. I really think that they blew it against the 49ers, chance to go to the Super Bowl. Dan Gamble blew that game for them. I think that hurt. Last year, don't forget, they had the best record, home field, throughout the playoffs in the NFC, let a rookie quarterback come in. They were 9.5-point favorites in that game and lost. If you're telling me that they're going to be back next year or, this coming season, I can't buy into it. The division's getting better. I just think that they lost both coordinators, so there's going to be a year of adjustment. So I think the Lions had a nice window for 2 years. Unfortunately, it's closed. This is when I turn.
It's like letting you know. At the end, it's closed. The door is shut.
Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it's closed.
I love my favorite thing about this type of stuff is he's saying it like it's definitive, which I guess when you give a take, you have to be like that. But he's like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to have to do this, but it's closed. 2 years. Like when you look at teams that have 2-year windows in the NFL, typically you're talking about a older older team, just a little bit left in their prime. You know, like kind of like the Rams when they got Stafford. You knew that.
Like
window.
The Niners now. I'd say the Niners.
Niners are a good
Trent
one.
Williams,
It's like
CMC.
the team that you assemble that you're like, hey, if we don't win this thing in the next 2 years, we got to blow it up. You know what I mean? That's kind of that's what it is. The Lions are the exact opposite of that. I know guys have to get paid, but they still have guys on rookie contracts. Like 2-year window is crazy when all of your productive players are under the age of 26 years old. I mean, you have Hutch, well, that'll be 25 in a couple months, but they're all under 25, 26 or under. And so as much as, again, Rob Parker, it's just another one you got wrong, my man. It's just, there's another one. It's Rob, 2 years is crazy. That's crazy. No way, no how, Rob Parker. I see you in the chat, Weezy D. No way, no how the Lions window is closed.
Is that a Rob Parker?
Yes.
I want to keep saying Rob Barker. Isn't that like a TV or like a game show host, Rob Barker?
That
like
sounds familiar.
All time, like The Price is Right, maybe. Rob Barker. All right. I'll step up and be the one to lock in and say it.
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. Okay, yeah, that's on me.
That's a good
Rob
one.
Parker, Jeff, Lucas. Rob Parker's an idiot. He's no longer a legend. Saying, like, if you say things like that, how am I, like, someone newer in the media, in today's media, right, new age media, how am I supposed to respect guys who constantly just say egregious stuff? Like, egregious. That they don't mean. Like, it's like I'm trying to say things to stay relevant in national media, right? Like, I get it. Like, I'm with you. Like, Skip Bayless did it towards the end of his career the last few years. Now he's irrelevant. Rob Parker's hanging on with the thread, trying to be like, I know exactly what I can do to stay relevant. I'm gonna get the Detroit fan base riled up. That always works. Like, when was he here, Jeff? The 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, when the Lions were SOL.
So the only thing he knows is SOL. Again, Rob Parker's an idiot, and that's to me, that's like the bottom line. I'm sorry, Jeff's like hates the fact that I'm saying that because he's a lead. I really don't care. Like, I'm gonna be just straight up honest. I'm gonna be quite frank with you. This is new media now, Rob. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't care how long you've been doing it for. Respectfully, you have no clue what you're talking about. You're talking about you have a quarterback coming off an MVP finalist season. You have a top 3 running back in the NFL. You have a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. You have a top 5 defensive edge rusher, the most important position. You have 2 top 5 safeties on your defense. You have a top 5 coach. You have the number 1 offensive lineman in the NFL, probably a top 5 offensive line in the NFL, a top 5 tight end. You have another top 20 wide receiver. You sound like a complete idiot trying to act like, to me, it's just like, what are we doing here, Rob Parker? Like, hang it up at this point. Like, it's done. When you have to start going and saying things like that, man, career's over. You're done. You're done doing talk shows and hopping on shows, all of that. Hey, Jeff, if you want to have him on, fine with me. I'm going to tell him that was the worst take I've ever heard in my life at the end of the day, because this team,
I think that'd be a great
2 years.
Yeah,
well, I mean, just 2 years ago, they weren't even expected to be Super Bowl contenders, and they go into an NFC Championship game. Okay, now window opens. Now you have 1 year. You lose one playoff game. Oh, all of a sudden, windows close. Wrong. You have no clue what you're talking about. You've never seen winning football in your life, Rob. You don't know what it's like to go in the NFL and win a football game, Rob. So let's just cut that. Let's cut all of that out. Must not be familiar with the Booner path as well. I just thought of that.
I don't. That never must have come across.
Yeah.
But
I just don't see a world, boys, where it's like this Lions team, even if they mess contracts up or not, they are going to be contending for a Super Bowl over the next 2 or 3 years. Brad Holmes could brutally mess up this contract situation, and you still have the players and Dan Campbell to be contending over the next 3 seasons and just be in the conversation. You are top 5 favorite to win the Super Bowl currently. You are number 2 in the NFC to win the NFC. The window is wide open. It's more, Rob, I see how big you are. You could step through the window. It's so big. That's how big the Detroit Lions window is open right now. Like, you can cross. 10 of you can walk through it, dude. Like, what are we doing here?
It's no doggy door.
I mean, this is a garage door, double wide.
Kelvin Johnson wingspan. I love it, Boone. And I think it was very well said, Boone. So I don't have to add much more to it. I just think it doesn't make sense because I can see the aspect of up to this point, the Lions in the NFC Championship against the Niners was probably their best chance up to this point because of the injuries last year. I could see how the coordinators and all the schedule, like this was probably when you're looking at week 1, looking at the Super Bowl, Lions might not be set up in the same way you thought going into week 1 last year. But I don't know how that computes into the window is closed. That's jumping ahead another 3 years that you don't even know what they look like. But you know for a fact all these players under contract and they were just drafted are still going to be here. Boone went through the whole list. He cleaned up fine. Didn't leave any meat on the bone, Boone.
I left one. You have the best punter in the NFL.
And one of the best up-and-coming kickers.
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, the window, there is a window, but it's not over. That's ridiculous. It's
not even looking to close right now. You're not even thinking about the close.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous. Well, a player that'll help them keep that window open.
I apologize, Rob. Didn't mean to get too fired up.
If we have him on, you got to keep that same energy, Boone. I'm
just saying that's the worst take I've ever. With all due respect, that might have been one of the worst takes I've ever heard in my life.
Well, PFF ranked edge rushers, fellas. They ranked edge rushers. We went through linebackers, quarterbacks, now edges. We'll get to see where Aiden's ranked according to PFF, the almighty gospel. Let's. By the way, I just got a text, by the way, quick note. Tyler will be joining tomorrow at 8:30.
Tomorrow 8:30. Okay, we're good.
Tomorrow.
Hey, shout out Tyler anyways, though.
Yeah, tomorrow at 8:30, schedule conflict. So Tyler tomorrow at 8:30, which is fine. But let's get to these just to alert the whole chat. Let's get to the edge rushers. All right. I think it was like 32 or something like that. 32 they did, according to PFF. So let's take a look. Number 1, the obvious. No one should be shocked by this. Myles freaking Garrett. All right. No one should be
1-1.
Yeah, no one should be upset by this. This is it's probably this is the right take.
By the way, do you see the numbers there? 83 pressures in the season is ridiculous.
Yeah, the pass rush win rate of 23.1% is crazy. That's crazy, man.
That's nuts, dude.
And he's doing it on a team that's practically, especially after Zadarius Smith, on his own. And you got to think in the second half of the games against the Browns, most teams are running the football. Like they're most of the time not in close games unless Jameis Winston and the Broncos are going head-to-head. But outside of that, like teams weren't throwing in the second half. So if Myles Garrett was getting to the quarterback in sacks, most of the time it was probably through the first half and in that third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Myles Garrett's he's one of the most dominant players, period, in the NFL. So I'm not going to disagree there. Number 2, Micah Parsons.
I don't like it.
Boone?
I have no issue with it.
I just don't like Micah.
Neither do I, Boone. And off the field is one thing, but I think Micah Parsons, since he's stepped foot in the NFL, elite rookie season, elite second season, elite third season, and not saying that there's other guys that haven't, but I think we're going to use Aiden Hutchinson, for example, because that's obviously what we're looking at this for. Aiden Hutchinson has been elite, but I don't think there's been a season yet where we can clearly go Aiden Hutchinson has passed Micah. I think last season he was on that pace, he was on that track, but he hasn't done it yet. Now, going into this year, different story. Hopefully he can do it. But up to this point, I don't think he's passed Micah because obviously off the field, in the locker room, I'd much rather have Aiden Hutchinson. I think they're going to be probably like the 2 premier edge rushers going forward after Myles Garrett stops going from a defensive player of the year candidate, goes to a Pro Bowl guy. It'll be Mike and Aiden. But up to this point, I just think Mike is number 2. It's close, but
might just be wrong. Give me TJ Watt at number 2. Give me Max Crosby at number 3. Give me Micah at 4.
Really?
Shit.
You're not doing TJ Watt over Micah Parsons. TJ Watt is better than Mike. TJ Watt, to me, I don't think there's a conversation. I think TJ Watt's number 2 behind Myles. And I don't think there should be a conversation about it. If you try and argue it, it's like every single statistical category, maybe besides pass rush win rate, which Micah in his mind, that's the only stat that matters, which it's a big stat. But when we're talking pressures and sacks and the plays that this guy makes, that TJ Watt makes to help his team win football games just in general, like you cut the Steelers' wins in half over the last 3 seasons if it's not for TJ Watt. Micah Parsons, you lose 1 or 2 more games without Micah. Like, yeah, he makes a factor, but like TJ Watt's getting strip sacks that changes games. He's getting tip passes that end games. Like he's getting sacks that are ending games. Like TJ Watt in big moments steps up. And the only reason that the Steelers are ever in games half of the time or 80% of the time is because of TJ Watt. And that's literally it. Like Micah it's Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Gap, Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, and the rest. Like that's to me what it is. I don't think Micah, and at least in my mind, I'm not putting Micah in the TJ conversation.
I don't hate that take at all, Boone.
Yeah, I don't hate it. The only thing I would swap. If Micah's not 2, in my opinion, he's got to be 3. I think just how dominant he's been. That's just how production, win rate. Like he's been so dominant, and I love Max Crosby. But if you want to go TJ Watt, I don't hate that. TJ's a beast. He's an absolute freaking beast. But they have Micah number
for a while. TJ was the number 1 football player in the NFL. To be honest,
yeah, he's a beast. I think we'll get to him. Probably not too far away here. Micah Parsons 2, 3. There you go. TJ Watt.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, he took home PFF's Run Defender of the Year. Like, that's insane, dude. Like, Run Defender of the Year. And he has a 90.1 pass rush grade and gets after the quarterback. I think he had like 10 sacks or something plus sacks, and I feel like he had a down year. But he had 6 forced fumbles.
That's insane within
ridiculous,
itself.
Dude.
Going back to what you said, Booner.
Fumbles, dude. That's
because
insane.
think about how ass and just how average. Not this year, not last year, not the year before. Ever since Ben Roethlisberger retired, and even his last year, that the Pittsburgh Steelers offense has been. They've had Matt Canada. They've had just OC after OC after OC after Mason Rudolph after Kenny Pickett, and yet TJ Watt is still like if they don't have TJ Watt. Their offense is not putting up 13 points. They're putting up 3. They're like TJ Watt is the difference maker in Pittsburgh.
Yep. I want to look something up real quick too with them. Real quick, if it's okay, boys.
I think that's perfect.
When did Micah get into the league? 21? I'm interested to see.
I believe he was Panay's draft class, so 21, yeah. I think he went like 10th or 11th.
Yep.
Yeah, he has like 5 more sacks than Micah since he came in the league. And he's played in
TJ, you're saying?
TJ, yeah, and they've played in a similar amount of games, I guess, but he still has more. Dude, I mean, TJ Watt having 22 and a half in a year is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really the big thing. I was shocked when I looked at Micah's stats. I was shocked how consistent he is.
He is consistent. That's why I think he's top 5.
It's like he's just giving 13 sacks a year at the minimum. I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
And Micah too. And Boone, I understand like what you're saying with Micah. And I don't think it's egregious to say guys like Max Crosby are in front of Micah Parsons. But when I just look at Micah, he's so athletic and disruptive. You can play him at defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, and he just enforces havoc. And I just think, again, I'm not going to hold you at all. TJ Watt, if you want to put him at 2, all power to you. But when you look at, okay, like Nick Bosa or Micah Parsons, I just think he can bring you more at an elite level.
Let's look at 4. So no Hutch yet, top 3. I'll go to chat. Should Hutch be next? All right. TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett. Do you think Hutch is next? Because you still have out there Nick Bosa. You still have out there Max Crosby, who we just mentioned. Who else? I mean,
Trey Hendrickson.
Trey, yeah. I'm trying to think of some other ones.
Jared Verse is probably a PFF demon. I'd imagine.
Yeah, Jared would probably be top 10 for sure. No question.
All right.
I don't think Hutch is next.
Anderson,
I think there would be. Yeah, those are some good ones. I don't think Hutch would be next, though. You're probably talking Max Crosby at 4, in my opinion. That's where I would have.
All right, number 4? Nick Bosa.
Wow.
Jesus.
Okay.
Nick Bosa at 4.
Don't like it.
He's had an 89.3 PFF pass rush grade it was his lowest since his rookie year in 2019. Testament to how dominant he's been through his first 6 years of his career. However, he still finished tied for third in pass rush win rate and ranked fifth in total pressures. So, where are we at, chat? Nick Bosa, Aiden Hudson, because this is the one where I think you can make the argument for either one. I think now you're getting into those waters where it's like Nick Bosa, Max, Aiden, where you can kind of like argue. I think the first three probably no one's arguing, to be honest with you. But this one, I don't know. I like Nick Bosa. I think he's really good, and he's had great years.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's in that next tier, in my opinion. You were talking about tiers earlier, Boone. I think Nick Bosa's in the tier with like all the other guys. So I think this one you could probably argue.
It's just tough because he's been so good and so elite for the last couple of years. But this year, I mean, I know San Francisco is down as a whole, but Nick Bosa, even when San Francisco wasn't a Super Bowl contender and they were going through one of their down years with injury, like he was a player that still played at a high level. But at the same time, I could see Nick Bosa going out and get 14.5 sacks this year. So with Hutch, I'm not going to be too mad. Like going into this year, I would take Aiden Hutchinson. But obviously, we're in Detroit. We have that bias. If you're in San Francisco, you're going to say you take Nick Bosa. So this just has to be, you know what, Nick Bosa, he's been an elite player for a little bit longer. Both dealt with injuries. Aiden Hudson's coming off another injury. So you're pulling hairs here. I think you just go with the guy who's been more consistent over the last 2 to 3 years. But I'm taking Hutch, but I don't blame them. Like, again, Nick Bosa is an elite player. He's won Defensive Player of the Year. He's at 19 sacks in a season before, been in multiple Super Bowls. He's going to have a resume that will be similar to Hall of Famer. I don't know if he will be in the Hall of Fame, but he's that caliber of resume.
Well, next is Aiden Hutchinson. He's at 5. So
there we go. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm not too upset at this. I would probably bump him up a spot. I think you probably can argue him or Nick. But again, to your point, Nick has the accolades, so I guess I can't be too upset with it. But, he's a top 5 edge rusher. He's one of the best. He's one of the favorites to win Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, hey, it says right here, though, the Pro Bowl edge defender was in a league of his own, recording 72 pass rush wins, the most ever by a defensive player in the PFF era through the first 6 weeks of the season.
72 in 6 weeks is...
And he did it in just 5 games as Detroit had a bye in week 5.
Insane. 5 games and 72 pass rush wins is like...
That dude's just winning everything.
In 5 games. He's just unguardable at that point. Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, top 5 without a doubt. If he wasn't injured, he's top 3 on this list, right? Like, if he doesn't get that injury and the pace that he was on, there's no way you're not saying he's top 3, if not maybe even higher than 3 at 1 and 2 going into next year. So I'm interested. I think 5's fine for him, especially being like, all right, with the injury, what is he going to do next year? What's he going to be like? And obviously not getting the full stats last year. So 5 is good for me. I'm not gonna bring the pitchforks and all of that.
Yeah, for what a spot. I mean,
yeah.
Now, there's something that stood out to me on this list. All right, and we don't have to. I'm not going to break down everyone. I mean, you see Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, Jared Verse, but when you go down this list, right, you keep going. Will Anderson, Mac, Josh Allen, Daniil Hunter, Alex Highsmith. So think about it. So Alex Highsmith, T.J. Watt. All right, Daniil Hunter, Jonathan Greenard. You saw Will Anderson already.
Yeah.
Andrew Van Ginkel. So you have 2 Minnesota, 2 Texans. Jalen.
Who's the other Texan? I'm sorry.
Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter.
And Daniil Hunter. Okay, I forget Daniil Hunter's on.
Jalen Phillips is on here. Rashawn Gary. Abdul Carter's on here, which is
crazy. Right away. I mean, he's good, but I feel you got to wait and see, right?
What do you have to do?
Nothing, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Got it.
Once I said that, I was like, whoa.
Bradley Chubb's on here with Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, and then you have Brian Burns and
Abdul Carter. Carl Granderson, Nick Benito, Yaya Diaby. Josh Sweat. Jafe Owe. He's from the Ravens. Hey, Chop Robinson, another Dolphin. I mean,
Dolphins got 3 of them.
Wow.
Adafe Owe, he's on the Ravens, but watch. Nolan Smith, Eagles. All right.
Is that the Eagles' first one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Za'Darius Smith.
Kyle Van Noy should be way higher than 30.
Yeah, but
old, I guess. But yeah, Za'Darius though. Woo.
Yeah, it's the point. I'm the more I think about it, it's like obviously in the league, you're not going to have two top 5 edge rushers on the same freaking team. All right. But to have 2 top 30, a lot of teams have it.
Who are the teams? Can you name the teams? I just want to.
Steelers, Vikings, Texans, Dolphins, and I feel like I'm missing one.
Giants.
Giants.
Okay.
I think that was the 5.
Mm-hmm. Now, out of those 5, how many are Super Bowl contenders?
That doesn't.
Okay.
That's not the argument.
I know what you're saying. Like it helps, but it's like people are saying, "Hey, you can't win a Super Bowl. You can't win a Super Bowl unless you have the two of the top 30 edge rushers in the NFL."
No,
it's like,
it's not
one contender had 2 of the top 30. Not one.
Oh wait, are you sure?
Who?
The Ravens. So you want to revisit that or?
Oh, just okay. The Ravens. We didn't name the Ravens. That wasn't a part of the 5 that you just named.
Texans could be, especially in like a year or two.
Ravens have 2.
Ravens have a 25th and 30th.
But you just said
okay. One contender. Eagles don't. Chiefs don't. Bills don't. Who else is competing for the who else is there, boys? 49ers. Commanders. Like none of these teams do. People are like, it's a die on the hill. Like if you don't have 2 top 30, you can't win a Super Bowl.
Not the argument I'm making at all.
Wrong.
The argument I'm making is people act like it can't be done. It's like, oh, no way. You only have Hutch, and then you have Davenport or some other person. Like Za'Darius would be the perfect one. He's 29th. There you go. Bring him back.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I'm not trying to make the argument that it ain't going to happen, that they can't win without him. I'm just saying that, like, you can make it happen with Za'Darius. He's a free agent. He's a top 30 edge.
Klotz, you got to have my back here a little bit. You don't make those points unless you're insinuating all of those people who are saying their odds are worse without one. Do you see what I'm saying here?
That's obvious. But you're not looking at those teams and saying the reason they're not going to win a Super Bowl is because of having 2 edges. You're saying quarterback. You're saying a lot of other things.
Yeah, but there's a reason why. Like all these teams have other positions that are very good because they can't pay 2 top 30 edges. It's hard to. Like, look at Josh Sweat. He couldn't stay in Philly. Where did he go? He goes to Arizona. They would have had 2 top 30. They didn't because they couldn't afford it. So it's like teams can't. So you got to maneuver all these other positions because you have so many positions you have to pay for. Like contending teams, it's not just one position. It is 22 different positions, right? Like,
yes, but there's content. It depends on the player. Is he 25 and looking for a first contract? You're not going to be able to pay that guy. But if you're 33 and you're still like Kyle Van Noy,
there's one contending team that has a player at 25 and 30. Outside of that, no contending teams have 2 players in the top 30. So the point stands where it's like it's not as big of a deal as people allude it to be at the end of the day. Like, yes, it would be nice to have insurance and have Za'Darius, and which I still think he's going to sign. Like if I had to bet my car or something, I would bet, he's going to be in Detroit next year. That's how confident I am he's going to be here. But I just don't think it's as big of a deal being like, hey, boys, like if you don't have him.
I get your point, Booner, as far as not needing another top 30 guy, but you've got to do better than Marcus Davenport. So I agree with you there. The part where I do disagree with you is I do not think that Za'Darius Smith is going to be a Detroit Lion, at least week 1. I look at it as pizza.
We have to start marking these down. We need a notes app, and
I'll put it down notes app.
Because as of right now, me and you and Jeff have the pizza bet with the Cowboys. There's another one I don't even know about. There's one that you two have alone. This is going to be another one.
Yeah, there's 2.
We'll put a pizza on it.
I'll do a pizza. I think Za'Darius will be a Detroit Lion.
And let me put it like this.
Season starts.
And this is not playing middle. I hope that he is. But if I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that Brad Holmes going into last year at Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. What was the whole concern about Marcus Davenport? Why I only got a 1-year deal? Injury. Who is still on the team? Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. And then when we go back, and probably like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about it, and the likelihood of Za'Darius Smith coming back given the financials of the Detroit Lions right now. Not that it's impossible, but it's not easy, especially if Za'Darius isn't looking for a 1-year deal. So I look at Brad and he sees Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport. If Marcus Davenport doesn't get hurt, that's a really good edge situation. And I think that Brad, being the guy that loves a discount, loves a bargain, said, hey, we went and got Hassani, we brought back AQM. They'll probably bring in camp bodies, but I think just the ship is sailed on Za'Darius Smith. If he's going to be back in Detroit, I mean, we're talking about Stephon Diggs yesterday with the doc going nuts on the boat. He's living life. Well, he's already signed with the Patriots. He's coming off an injury.
Yeah, Klotz, the only thing I'd like saying the ship is sailed to me is just like I feel like it's just so far off, like wrong.
Maybe there's a chance.
He's still in Detroit every once in a while. I just saw Cashdow put him on his story. I don't know if they were in Detroit in the last 48 hours. There's rumors out there that potentially Za'Darius is just waiting this thing out and still wants to come to Detroit. Like, I don't think now if you were like, hey, there's a 50-50 chance, like it's still up in the air, like, but being like it ship has sailed to me is just like that's irresponsible. It hasn't sailed. There's a reason.
A 65-35 leaning.
Okay, that's more fair to me because I still think there is a chance no matter what. The fact he hasn't signed, if the ship was sailed, he would have signed with a different team and it would have been over. That would have been a fact. Yeah, but like you knew no matter what they were opting out of that deal because of all the behind all the other things that had to do with it. So sorry, Jeff, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I don't think I think his intention is he wants to be a Lion. I think that's fully his intention. I mean,
yeah,
just makes a lot of sense for him. You know, he's already here. This girl's here. You know, now if the Lions got to play ball a little bit though, and I don't know if I'm being honest. I don't know if Brad will. I don't. I can't act like I do. It just depends, I guess.
Hey, maybe too, they're waiting to see at OTAs, like what some of these other guys look like, the confidence level, and then maybe they'll offer them more. Or maybe they're just, you know what I mean? Both sides waiting it out, kind of getting a feel for everything.
Isaac Ukwu, Miles Adams,
Mitchell Agude,
and more. Can they replace Za'Darius?
Let's see. Weezy D, it wasn't Davenport's fault this time. Paris Johnson was getting mauled by Big Dav and snatched his elbow out the play.
Big Dav.
Big Dav.
I mean, it's a freak injury, but let's not act like that's all Marcus Davenport has had throughout his career.
That's still injury prone. That's literally what the definition of injury prone is like having freak injuries constantly.
Yeah.
Not being able to avoid freak injuries. That is being injury prone. Klotzy, blood clots, Klotzy, injury prone.
Yeah. Blood clot, lung transplant as a kid.
Yeah, injury prone. You know,
Nick Pieces, Brad Holmes added Kevin Zeitler and Tim Patrick as late acquisitions too.
Kevin Zeitler was earlier. Tim Patrick was training camp. So there's still chances.
And I think, too, the context, they're both those guys 1-year deals. I'm imagining Za'Darius could be. But again, that's why I feel like if it's a 1-year deal, it would have been like, hey, we're giving you 1 year, $15 million. We're going to argue over the money, but I think it's more so the length of it. And Tim Patrick and Kevin Zeitler aren't going to be making the money that Za'Darius Smith wants.
Maybe, though, they already offered him a 1-year deal, and he said he'll take it. He's like just waiting it out until training camp because he doesn't want to do OTAs.
Maybe, Booner. Maybe. I can't confirm nor deny it.
I can.
But
I'm telling you. Hey, this man 4 months ago had a fake Super Bowl Detroit Lions ring made up. He wants to win a Super Bowl in Detroit.
It's true.
He did do that, which I can't. That takes guts to have a fake Super Bowl ring. Like you
don't do that after the season. He did it after the season too. This wasn't like middle of the playoff run. Like here we go. He did it after the season. The fact he did it after the season, it's like, all right, he's had a conversation with Brad Holmes. They want him back.
Well, Ryan,
what else you want to do that?
Appreciate the $2, Ryan. He says the doc cashed all Za'Darius on a boat.
Right now.
With that Tootsie, I'm telling you that yeah.
Doc pulls out the big stuff. Doing.
I don't obviously indulge in that stuff, but
Doc is so funny, man.
You know, Doc. I don't think Doc does. You know, I don't know what Doc was doing in his heyday.
At Michigan State, he tells us all the time about how much of a party warrior he was.
He was closing deals back at MSU, man.
Right, the Detroit River, man. They're out there.
Yeah.
They're out there watching the Grand Prix right now. Just
Detroit River.
Ooh. By the way, that is this weekend. And if you boys want to go, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to just walking around the Grand Prix,
honestly.
watching some cars drive around on Sunday. They have a big race Sunday.
On Sunday too?
The race is Sunday. I would be down to just go down there, walk around, meet some people, shake some
I'd be down
hands.
for that. Sounds like a good time.
It's on the water.
Does anyone indulge?
I've been. I went when it was at Belle Isle.
And what? Indulge
Like,
in
you
what?
watch any of this shit on TV?
The Grand Prix. It's not
I
F1. It's IndyCar. F1 is different, but it's IndyCar. But it's similar. It's just not as fast. It's
Explain.
Not that it's just a different. Like F1 is like worldwide. Like mad.
Okay.
F1 is huge. IndyCar is like in America, where it's like the Indy 500. The Indy 500. It's the same. It's similar cars, except they have like a cover on. Where I don't.
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon is NASCAR, but I'll tell you what. Do you know who Jimmy Johnson is? He won like 8 championships in NASCAR. He raced. I went a couple years ago and met him there. He was
Jimmy
racing
Johnson.
not
Jimmy
football.
Johnson?
Jimmy Johnson. No. By the way,
I don't know if it's ringing a bell, bro.
by the way, too. I had got a message back last night while we were on the show. I may be going to the NASCAR race in a few weeks. Might have like pit passes. I reached out to my guy who covers NASCAR, and he said, if I'm there, you boys are there. I might be able to get 3 passes. I don't know who all can go, what's going to happen, but there's a chance that I'm rubbing shoulders with my favorite driver of all time, Kyle Busch. That'd be sick.
Yeah, you can't pass it up. You saw every road trip we go on, you say that you're Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I bet. Hey,
risk
get some
our
passes.
lives. And it's in a
Boys are
safe
gonna be
manner.
fighting over those things, man. I'm telling you right now.
I might get 3 of them. I said, I know we have 5 in the crew. I said, I didn't know how many I could get. I said, is 3 too much? I haven't heard back, but from what it sounded like, there's a chance there's going to be some passes available for the Michigan race. That I'm juiced up about. That might be like life changing for me.
I'll go. I don't want to say I wouldn't. I'll watch. I'll be there. I said the same thing about ball.
Support your big day, Bill.
Can I get one commitment out of you, Jeff? Can you just be my camera guy and just can't record everything I do, just so I can that's like one of the biggest weekends of my life.
Yeah, I'm a good teammate.
It's like if you went to a Drake concert, I would just and we had to get content. I would carry the camera around the whole time.
That's the best thing you could have came up with.
That's your favorite thing of all time. One of my favorites is NASCAR.
I mean, he's not wrong. I get sent probably throughout the week on Instagram minimum 5 or 6 Drake / Toronto, whatever, just propaganda. Or LeBron. If you were to meet LeBron, I would say that's a similar situation.
Yeah, you'd have to record
on his mind. The LeBron songs, the LeBron memes.
Can I be honest?
Yeah,
the one thing I realized that we are different age groups, us 3, you 2 to me, is you guys send Instagram posts. I've never actually sent one in my life. Like when I first started hanging out with Lucas a lot, and we started doing the first show we did together, Lucas would just every day send me 6 Instagram posts a day. I would never reply. I'm just
I gave up.
And he
on
did
it
for months. And yeah, like 6 months in, you're done doing it. But you did it for months. Jeff tried to do it for me for a little bit. It's I just never reply. I have friends everywhere who do it to me. Do not reply.
That's the best content throughout my day. Going if I'm at work and I just if I gotta drank my coffee, cranked out a 4 new on a Ford F-250. I'm like, fuck this. I need to go sit down, blow a toilet up real quick, open up some memes, dude. Nothing boosts my mood more.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get
it's the best.
You sent. I got a couple people I sent memes to. It's you and Jake.
Can we make a deal? Can you guys start sending them again? Let's see if I can get into this.
It's fun, Boone.
What's funny?
Diabolical.
Just start sending them again, and I'll see what I can do. For the longest,
he sent some toughies, man. I die laughing. They're funny as hell. Man. I don't know why. Klotz's algorithm now.
Yeah, I would say the funny thing is most guys' algorithm, it's ass, just some horn. My algorithm is it's a little dark, but there's some great memes in there. There's some great memes.
Let's just say
you guys can start sending them again, and I'll see what I do. What the craziest part about it all too is for a year, my mom got Instagram, and she would send me videos all day too.
Yeah,
and
that would kill my vibe too.
And I love my mom. She might be watching right now, but she would send them all the time. And I don't watch your guys'. I wouldn't watch my mom's, nothing. And I'll be on the phone. I would talk to my mom every week. I'll talk to her. She'd be like, "Did you see the Instagram post I sent?" I haven't opened the Instagram post. I don't open it. I don't read Instagram, those things. It's just, she would send me like 5 a day too. You guys
I
would.
wonder how many have piled up in there. Like, you know, the
So
little
many.
number with like 99 plus.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
I have a
99
group chat
plus
with
is crazy.
all my Aussie friends, and they send like, there's like 5 of them in there, and they send like 20 a day, and I just do not watch any of them.
See, that's too many. Group chat stuff I can't look at.
Yeah.
It's too many.
They're sending me
like personal,
Australian
if it's like-
government stuff. They're sending me U.S. government stuff. They're everything in that
Trying
one.
to keep you awake, Boone. Stay
Yeah.
woke.
Hey, shout out to the doc, by the way. He posted an article. It's predicting defensive leaders, the stats.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to do that with you guys. The
haven't seen
categories: tackles, interceptions, sacks.
Should we add more? Those are the only 3 that he had.
Pass deflections.
Okay. Yeah. I like that.
I don't think we're going to think of anything else. I mean, tackles
wish
for loss. I
This
guess
is
no,
defensive. Defensive
Yeah.
strictly.
I wish there was one we
Tackles,
could do for like
interceptions, sacks, pass
defensive interior, like pressures, but I don't think that would.
like tackle for losses, I guess would be the right one.
Stuffs.
Run stuff. I was literally supposed to say run stuff.
Like run stuffs, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to classify that though. Like I always see that as a stat. I'm like, what the fuck classifies as a stuff?
I think that's a stuff is just a tackle for a loss. Just on ESPN, they say stuff instead of TFL.
okay.
That's how
Well-
I've always interpreted it.
Force fumble.
Interpreted
When we
it.
do force fumble,
I feel like that's
Yeah.
going to be the same as like sacks, in my opinion. We could.
Klotz is
you
like,
scared,
"That is
Boone? You
great
scared?
stuff."
Because I know who I'm taking because he led it last year and he didn't have many sacks. I don't think he had one at all.
David Long.
Shit, he did have one. Smooth.
They got a
little
fumble
Uno.
recovery, I think. All right. Well, for the first stat,
Trevor
for the
Nowaski.
for the first stat,
Yeah.
tackles.
This
Go
is an
ahead,
easy
Bill.
one. This should
Go
be
ahead.
across the board, right? Now,
ahead,
all right,
Bill.
let's play this game. Say something if you think it's someone else besides Jack Campbell.
Aye.
Wrong.
I'm not
Buzzer.
joking.
No,
No.
Jack
Hey,
Campbell's going to lead the Lions. He led them last year. If he stays healthy all 17 games, I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up. What did he have last year? I'm going to pull it up here just so we get accurate.
You should know
numbers.
this by now, like the back of your
Well,
fucking
136 is my guess. I think it was 136 is the exact
Like
number.
Sam Flannel with Mahomes.
131. He had 131. I think this year he's over 150
Boom.
easily. Easily.
You know how Jersey Jerry has the TJ Watt stats?
I will do that for Jack.
You need to find your own spin-off of that with Jack Campbell.
I'll get an armband with all Jack
won't,
Campbell's
you
stats.
won't put up with anyone saying that he's not even like again, I think he will take that step this year, but you will die on the hill and will refuse to listen to anything less than that he's not top 10 already. So
He'll be top 5 by the end of this season.
get the top 5 list ready. I think
I
that's
will.
step ahead.
So the leading tacklers last season in the NFL, Zaire Franklin, household name, at 173, led the NFL in tackles.
Who's
Buda
second?
Baker, 164. Robert Spillane, third.
Dog.
Tied with Jamian Sherwood, and then Roquan Smith at 154. Jack Campbell will be on that list in 2025.
He's passing Robert Spillane. No, I'm just
Yes.
Shit. Boone, come on. Let's not be reckless.
To be fair, Robert Spillane only
the
got
Braves?
that many because he was on not a great football team.
But that hurts Jack.
No, I'm not talking. It has nothing to do with Jack. I'm just saying he's only up there because
We-
of the team he was on.
He's no.
If he
You
signed with the
watch what he does
Lions, he would go
Braves.
down to 100.
Who?
Robert Spillane.
If he was with the Lions, he would have went down.
If he
to
signed with the Lions, he would have gone.
Who
down
else
to
is in New
100.
England?
I'm talking about if he came to Detroit.
Shit.
Who are your guys' picks?
For what?
tackles. Easy.
Well, boom,
I mean,
you
Jack
said
Campbell. Yeah, it's we don't disagree.
He
with
wants
that.
a Jack Campbell. He will.
Yeah, Jack Campbell. He's gonna this year.
Clip
we
it.
all agree. We all agree. He's gonna be special. He's gonna be special. I don't know.
Clip it.
I don't hate that take. I mean, top. You know,
He'll be
he'll be
top
up
10
there.
this year.
He'll have 150. He's going to have 150 this year. 19 more
How many did
tackles.
he have? Like, say it again. How many did he have? last year?
131. He needs 19 more.
But he
That's
didn't
one
have
more a
Anto in
game.
a lot of those games too.
So But a lot of those,
He'll take some
telling you.
tackles
Not
away.
gonna rule
Boone.
because EJ Speed had a
some
lot of
tackles
tackles for the
take
Colts
away.
either. I'm not gonna say that it's impossible.
Yeah. I'll probably go. You said top 5. I'm right behind you. Right behind you.
Boone's leading from the front. I'll say top 10.
get behind me, boys. Here we go.
Okay.
All
Hold
right.
on.
Yeah, let's
right,
see.
hey.
Yeah.
Here we go, boys.
Hey, next category. Interceptions.
Oh,
Darian Arnold. No, I'm just kidding. Stand up.
I'll let you two go first on this one because I might have a different one.
I've won that, and I'm very confident in it.
Go
Go ahead.
Brian Branch. I think Brian Branch. Kirby obviously has been there, but Kirby had 9 last year. I think that he probably comes back down to earth, and instead of having 9, oh my God, Kirby Joseph is going to have like 4 interceptions or 5 interceptions. But I think when you look at Brian Branch, Kirby makes great zone interceptions, like getting from sideline or hash to sideline. But Brian Branch is coming up in front of Jordan Addison off of a freak fucking play, flying like fucking Superman, making an interception. And I think that Brian Branch is going to be the best safety on the field next year. And Kirby's still going to get his. But I think that Brian Branch is just going to have probably like 1 or 2 more than Kirby this year.
Do you want me to go,
Go
Jeff, or
ahead,
do you want to go?
because I already know you agree with it.
Oh, I thought Boone was going to say.
So how
no.
many of you are wrong? Is it Lucas and you, Boone, or is it
Go
just
ahead,
Boone?
Jeff, because I have something to say after, and I'll let you go.
I just want to know if you agree with that. So I want you to go because I want to know who I'm addressing. Is it going to be you both? He's trying to get out of it. Is it you both or is it
I'm
Lucas?
gonna tell you what. I thought I was gonna be the odd. I thought I was gonna be the odd one out. Give me Brian Branch this year.
Come on, Boone.
To get the most interceptions on the Detroit Lions. Kirby had 4, 4, 9, and 4. If Kirby's back to 4 or 5, Brian Branch can get 4 or 5 this year. And I think last year there were moments to where maybe he was not playing out of position, but you could definitely tell he wasn't as comfortable as he was when he was in the nickel all the time. And he still had 4 interceptions last year. In his rookie year, he had 3. I think these guys are going to have a very similar amount. I think Kirby ends the season with 4 or 5. There's something inside of me, and I don't know. And I'm telling you, it's not like the flu or something. There's something inside of me that makes me feel like that Brian Branch gets 5 or 6 interceptions this season. And I don't know what it is, but I just feel like Brian's going to have a big season. It feels like, in my opinion, and you guys know I love Kirby. Shout out Kirby. Shout out Lewis and his agent, all those guys. But it feels like Brian Branch got a little similar to the Jack Campbell thing, a cloud over him because Kirby was so good to where like the conversations of Brian Branch didn't come up to the surface. And everyone's like, stop talking about how good Brian Branch really is and what he does on the field. And in my opinion, all around, like I think Brian Branch is the best safety in the NFL. Personally, I think that. Take stats away and all that. I think Brian Branch is the best in the league right now. And I think this year you're going to see it with the takeaways. I think he gets 5 or 6. I think Kirby's at 4 or 5, which still is a massive year. That's all pro seasons for both of them. But I'm going to go Brian Branch this year. I like that pick. Klotz, I was going to let you go. I thought you two would go Kirby, and I was going to hit it at the very end and go give me Brian Branch.
And
so I love that.
More, but Jeff, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm appalled. I mean, I'm appalled. You know what I think this is? This is a case. It's a case. How you doing, Boone? Is he waving? How you doing? Listen, I think this is a big case of, you know what this is a case of? TTBD.
TTBD.
A bad case. Severe.
TTBD.
Trying to be different. That's what it is. You guys are suffering from it. All right. It's a bad case. You're trying to be different. The obvious answer is the man who has 17 picks through 3 years. You know how many Ed Reed had in 3 years? 21. This is the next Ed Reed. And you're trying to be smarter, the smartest man in the room, and trying to say, well, Brian, by the way, Brian, excellent player. He's going to get a couple picks. But you boys just said it. Oh, he'll probably get you 4. He'll come back to 4. But you're saying Brian's going to get 5. Like, you know what this is based on? It's based on hope. I'm going off data. I'm going off 9
Aw,
picks.
What a bum
Kirby's
you are.
he's going to lead the team in picks again. Don't overthink it. TTBD, you're trying to be different.
All right.
Come on, boys.
That's what he's saying. All right. I'm just going to explain something to you very, very clear, Jeff. And I had a good friend one time tell me this. And when I used to, I still bet, but you know, I run into a lot of people gambling and betting games and props. And I had a good friend of mine a couple years ago. Gave me a very good point, very, very good. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, good advice, good betting advice.
Oh.
And he said, Booner, sometimes when players are doing very, very good, there's a chance that they're going to have a down week. Or when players have down weeks, that means they're due for a big week. And one of my good friends called it the up-down theory. And with the up-down theory, it's not just in betting. It's in life. It's in sports, emotions, football, Jeff.
Money.
It's with your girlfriend, Jeff, with your job, money. It's with everything. And I'll tell you what, the up-down theory tells me, and it's been pretty consistent. You're talking about data, Mr. Fizdale. I'll give you the data. Kirby 4 interceptions. Up to 9. And then the down theory back down to 4. That's what I'm looking at. And if move a step further real quick, boys. I'm sorry for taking too long here. When Kirby had 4 and 4, then he has 9. If I recall, Brian Branch, first 2 seasons in the NFL, had 3 and 4. Through their first 2 seasons in the NFL, Kirby had 8. Brian Branch had 7. If anyone is due for a big year, if we're talking up-down theory, which one of my good friends, I'm not going to name names. I don't want to throw my friends under the bus. But with the up-down theory, if anyone was due to have a big year from 3 and 4 and Kirby 4, 4, and 9, I would have to say Brian Branch is due for one of those 5-6 years interception years this season. And if I had to bet my money, I'm going Brian Branch.
Hey, Boone, real quick. Did this friend have a Killian Hayes jersey by chance?
Yes. Yeah, he actually that's crazy he did. How did you know that? Do you know them?
I know who it is, Boone. And I think you're spot on. And again, it's like, and I saw ETN say it in the chat. Again, valid point. Good point. Brian Branch is the better safety. Kirby's the better ball hawk. Well, if Brian Branch is the better safety, then he's going to make some really good plays. And I think a huge factor in this too, Kirby, zone guy, deep shots down the sideline. I think Terrion has a better year. I think DJ Reed has a really good year. I don't think there's as many deep shots, let alone you look at the quarterbacks they play. Jacksonville, interception. Mac Jones, Tennessee, interception. Who was that against? Who was the quarterback for Mason Rudolph?
Yep.
Green Bay, Malik Willis. Now, he had picks week 1 against guys like Matthew Stafford. He had 2 picks against Brock Purdy. So I'm not going to be like, oh, Kirby's just going up against bums and getting interceptions. No. What I'm saying is quarterback play is going to get a little bit better. Don't expect more deep shots down the field. Probably guys sit in the pocket trying to dissect. You got Amik Robertson in the slot, hopefully full-time this year. So Brian can just lurk around and play safety and really take that step they wanted to last year, but because of the injuries, couldn't do that. So hopefully he stops getting ejected from games, even though he really shouldn't have got ejected from that Packers game. But Brian Branch, I think Budda Baker is probably the best safety in the NFL right now. Brian Branch or Kyle Hamilton. But it's not like you can rule out Brian Branch. I like Brian Branch more than all of them. Kind of the same argument we're using with Hutch, where it's like you can't really say Brian Branch has passed him yet, but you can see he's right on their ass. This is the year where we walk away saying Brian Branch is the best safety in the NFL, though, if not Kyle Hamilton. It's going to be one of those two. Xavier McKinney, Nick P, another good one.
I have a couple things to say.
Did you have a confession, Jeff?
No, this is way too easy. You boys are making this easy. A couple things. It just kept adding on to it. The more you guys spoke, word salad. But I think the last point.
He says word salad.
The last thing I want to address, you, Klotz.
Oh, I'm out.
Why are we talking about best safety? That's not the argument. The argument's lead the team in picks. It's not who's the better safety. So, correct or incorrect, former very fine Tiffin Dragon. If someone's better in coverage than said player, who gets thrown at more? I'll let you answer.
That would be. You're going to throw away from the guy who gets the interception. So you're going to throw towards Brian Branch.
So you're going to throw into the better cover safety.
What are we talking about here?
So
you're telling me you think hold on, let's dissect this now, okay?
Go on.
So you're a quarterback. You're looking at your number one guy.
Yep.
Do you think he's going to be covered by Brian Branch? Probably.
No, I'm saying you have two safeties. One of them's he's much better in coverage. You have another guy who can get interceptions, but he's shaky in coverage, blows assignments. Who are you targeting?
Let's break it down like this. Good example. Lions. Let's say they're playing 49ers, okay? Love George Kittle. Where's Brian Branch going to line? On George Kittle. Who is still going to get targets? George Kittle. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to try to throw the ball to Ricky Pearsall down the field to Kirby Joseph, but Brian Branch, week to week, Lions playing or man coverage, he's going to be lined up, if it's not on the perimeter, with the number one guy most of the time. And you're going to leave Kirby back there playing to play cover one, which he's elite at. That's why he's Kirby Joseph, because he makes plays back there, which is why he'll probably get 5 interceptions again or 4 interceptions. But when you look at Brian Branch, I think he takes that step where Brian Branch is probably a top 5 safety in the NFL viewed right now.
And
but
he gets thrown at more, is what you're saying.
He's going to make more opportunities off those targets. I think he takes a step, and I think that you see Brian Branch, he's obviously not going to be like, oh, we're targeting Brian Branch. But Brian Branch also makes plays. Like going back to that Jordan Addison pick that he had against the Vikings this year. Brian Branch came out of fucking nowhere after he dropped an interception 2 plays before. He easily could have had 2 interceptions in that game, drive in the second drive and the third drive, but he only had 1. So when we go back, like even in his rookie year, he's manned up on Justin Jefferson one-on-one in the goal line. He's right in his hip pocket, but he had a clear interception, but he drops it. Brian Branch is very good, but he's left plays on the field. Now, that's not saying he's a bad player, but Kirby Joseph, you see, he went from 4, I'm not leaving these plays on the field anymore, 9. And that's not saying that Kirby Joseph is not going to get interceptions. People are saying that we're disrespecting Kirby. No, it's not that.
I asked you a question, and you answered it. I think when you have Brian and Kirby out there, the obvious thing might be to say, don't throw out the ball hawk, which I get. Teams keep doing it. Why is that?
Because he makes plays. Like how Kirby makes plays. He's gotten better at making plays each year. That's why he's gotten better.
And he's Branch, not just a gift. The guy just makes a play.
He's he's extremely talented, and that's what we highlight about him, because you can say like he's not bad against the run, but like that's not his strength. Brian Branch is just an all-around guy. Like Brian Branch would you be genuinely shocked this year, Jeff, if we walked away saying that Brian Branch had 7 interceptions? Like what? Like he doesn't have that. Not like no, because Brian Branch has that in his game.
I would be like, wow, like that. He's not a player. I think he's more of like a consistent couple a year, but just dominant everywhere. I don't see him as like Kirby, that level where he's just getting 8, 7, 8, 9 picks. I don't think that's like.
I don't think he's got to get 9. Like I don't think he's going to be a guy that gets 9, 10. Like he's not.
No,
that
even
guy,
7. Like would I be shocked? Like I mean, yes, but not like I'm surprised he's good. I don't know how to describe it. He's not like his game is Kirby. I'm not. I mean, the guy's a ball hawk. When I think of Brian, I think he's like he's a well-rounded. He could do everything. So 7 interceptions, I would be a little.
Let me ask you this:
what a year!
Is Minkah Fitzpatrick a very good all-around safety when he was in his prime? Alabama guy. The guy that was after him was Brian Branch. They're pretty much the same. Minkah Fitzpatrick has led the NFL in interceptions before. And I'm not saying that Brian Branch is going to lead the league, but if Kirby, let's say, goes out there and we've seen Kirby go through stretches where he's getting pick, no pick. Like, let's say he just has a 2-month stretch where he doesn't have an interception. But Brian Branch, to your point, he's very, very consistent about being around the ball and making plays. I could see just Branch consistently like making it up once every 4 games, getting an interception. Kirby will get 2 in 2 weeks, and then maybe go a stretch of the season where he's not getting interceptions. And I just think that coming back down to earth a little bit for Kirby is what's going to happen. And Brian Branch has an all-out season for himself.
By the way, Boone.
Let's not say anything. Just keep it pushing.
My phone's charging right now. I don't have it.
Yeah, let's just keep it pushing. Huh?
Everyone should go check
it. Might not be. It might not be. So let's not. It might be. Let's just let that go.
All right, last.
Okay.
How about this? I have a better question for this last one. Instead of saying who leads the team in sacks, Can we say who's second on the team in sacks? Because
Hutch is gonna.
Yeah, it's like Hutch is gonna lead the team in sacks, dude. You know what I mean? Who's
I
second?
hate this question. I think Klotz put this on our Twitter today.
Who's
What?
second on the team in sacks?
What was so funny? Was that you that put the post to that, Klotz?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was a good tweet. You guys can go first. I don't know if anyone wants to answer this question.
You want me to be honestly, like, genuinely realistic with you guys?
I think, yeah, because
You might hate it. You might hate it. And I'm just going to go along with the guys that are on the roster right now, because if Zadarius Smith comes back, I think all of us would say Zadarius Smith, correct?
for sure, yeah.
So I'm going to go with the guy that I think will be healthy. And going back to Jeff, I'm going to use your argument for Kirby Joseph. What's his game? Getting after the quarterback. So if you're asking me, do I think AQM can give 5 or 6 sacks this year? I do, because I don't think Marcus Davenport's going to be healthy enough to give you that. And we love Hassanin, what he could potentially be, but I'm not going to say that he's going to be able to get more sacks than a guy in AQM who in the last season gave you, I believe, 3 in like 6 games. Like, you could see AQM get pressure on the quarterback even in the playoff game. So I'm going to go with AQM, and that's kind of like a sad answer to say right now, and that's no disrespect to AQM, but that's going back to the conversation Booner was saying, where you don't need to have a top 30 guy across from Hutch, but you would like to be able to easily say, you know what, Zadarius Smith is going to be second on this team in sacks. We got to be saying El-Quadim Muhammad, who was taken off, I believe, the Chiefs practice squad last year, is going to be second in sacks. Now, I might be way off, and somebody goes off on this team, especially the interior, but if you're asking me right now, probably the other guy who's a pure pass rush specialist and got pressure on the quarterback last year.
Go ahead,
Jeff?
Boo.
No, you go ahead. I'm not gonna lie, Klotz, you cooked. I didn't hear the player you said because I was reading my text. The text that I got, I just was so like, it's been so polarized over the last 5 minutes that I gotta lock in. Numbers are going down. We gotta lock in.
Yeah, I said AQM Boone because he's just strictly a pass rush specialist. I think Marcus Davenport gets hurt. I said, can AQM get 5 to 6 sacks this year? He had 3 in the selected games that he played. That's why. And I don't want to say that, but if I had that one,
I'll be the one to do it because I know a lot of people won't. But I'm just gonna go Marcus Davenport.
Okay.
I think if he plays in 11, 12 games, I think he gets 5 or 6. Like, and I know a lot of people, no, when he plays, like the production is there. The stats are there. And he has proven that. It's, again, the bottom line is like, is this guy healthy? Will he play? And that's what the big question comes when with Marcus Davenport. But if he is healthy and he plays, I think he's second in the team. That's if Zadarius doesn't play or doesn't come back. Give me Marcus Davenport. Give me the man, huh?
Pounding the table for Marcus Davenport.
6.5. Anyone?
I want to do it.
Do it. I know who you're going to do, I feel like.
I want to do it, man.
Getting active over here, boys.
Second on the team in sacks. Let me clarify what that actually means, by the way. How many sacks are we talking to be second on the team?
That's where I was thinking, like, because I don't think Davenport plays more than I'll give him grace. I'll give him 9 games. So I'm thinking, like, where would he be at? I'd say 5 or 6. Can anybody beat that? If so,
I don't know.
That's how I arrived on AQM.
Okay. We can all agree it's going to be Zadarius Smith. All right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, besides Zadarius, yes, because he's not currently on the team. Who's going to be then third if Zadarius is there?
The big fella.
League?
Plays down south. Mm-hmm. Played. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Give me Ty League.
Come on.
Ty League. Because I'll tell you why. Let me explain. All right. DJ Reader is going to get you 1 sack. So let's just take him out the equation. I think Ty League is going to impress everyone. All right. Early and play a lot early. And even when Aleem comes back, he's going to be eased along slowly. So it's going to take some time for Aleem to fully get comfortable. Ty League's going to play all year. And guess what? Davenport, as much as if he's healthy, I can see it. I just don't think he gets healthy. So if Ty League can end the season with 5.5 sacks, shit, it might be second on the team.
Yeah, he might be defensive rookie of the year, all pro type of player in that
Oh,
case.
okay, all pro's crazy. He's not
Five.
gonna get all-
Okay, maybe
5.5.
God.
This had 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, whatever he had.
Okay, but the narrative of being the rookie, the 28th pick, and
No, you're not
being
all pro.
the
is
gritty
not
guy
good,
from
Abdul
question.
Carter's gonna have
I was
11.5.
wrong. All pro
I mean,
was egregious. Okay,
All right, yeah.
Jesus,
Walk back.
the fuck down.
Well, you're the one that said it. Well, you know.
You said defensive rookie of the year. You had 5.5 sacks.
Yeah, but if Tyreek, we know what he is against the run. Okay,
I don't
Okay.
think defensive rookie of the year would be in question.
who's getting
You know,
it? Then?
it would be a
Abdul
good
Carter?
I don't even know. His
Abdul
odds might
Carter?
be like 30th, to be honest.
Abdul Carter gonna win it then?
Probably.
Yeah, but people have to stop acting like 5.5 sacks is like this. I know we're Lions fans. In the last couple of years, it sounds like an insane amount of just wow
It's
production.
normal. Well,
It's normal. 5.5 as a rookie, shit.
to be fair, Jeff, Aleem's highest season, or career high, I think is 4.5.
But another hot
You
take.
think year one he's better than Aleem?
I think because Aleem, what happened when he got to that point? He lost a lot of weight, got into shape. Well, Tylee's walking in, basically
Wow.
like already. ready.
Wow.
And I think he's a better pass rushing defensive tackle, even though they're both run stoppers. But I think he's better already than Aleem was coming out at doing that. You know, even though again he's not freaking Chris Jones a year, but what I'm saying is compared to Aleem, like Aleem's comp coming out was like he's got some athleticism to him. You know, but he had to drop some weight, get into shape. I don't think that's the Tyreek. I think is ready to go, man. If he gets 5 sacks, shit, it might be second on the team. It might.
I don't
The
know.
only
I still
one I
think a
think
guy.
about-
I would rather bet on AQM Davenport and Ahmed Hassani over Tyreek sacks.
Ahmed Hassani
Yeah.
might not see much of him year one. And you're
I
going
think you
him over
will.
a guy who's going to play pretty much most downs every game.
I think you will. I think those three guys. Because let's say I bet on Davenport.
Disrespect.
Let's break this down a little bit. And there's no disrespect. Let's break this down a little bit. Let's have a little bit of moment here. If Marcus Davenport doesn't get it, it's because he gets hurt. If he gets hurt, then it switches to Ahmed Hassani and AQM are taking the snaps. And if they are, one of those two will end up being the second on the team.
This is where I'm confused. You talk about the Eagles and the interior defensive line. We praise this interior defensive line. Show some love to the big fellas up
I
front.
know, I do. I do show love, but go look at how many sacks those big fellas had in Philly. Like, I agree. I'm with you. I think that's going to be – that's secretly the quiet winning sauce is the defensive tackles, is the D line. Now, my problem is it's just more so it's like they're not going to go out there and get 5.5, 6 sacks each. That's going to be your linebackers, your edge rushers, guys like Josh Pascal, Levi O, AQM, Ahmed, Aiden,
like these names.
Anzo, Trevor, Derek Barnes.
Josh Pascal before Tyreek Williams, a first-round pick.
I think Tyreek will have more than Josh, but I'm just saying. What I'm saying is an aggregate of sacks between those team players. I don't think, but I think Tyreek. I think 4.5 isn't bad for him first year. I think that's a good number. Maybe 3.5. Like if I had to choose, I would go more so in between like 3. 3 would be like my number.
With you, Boone. We align.
4.5 seems like a lot for a defensive tackle rookie year, in my opinion. Especially when Aleem comes back, there's going, as much as we might not like it, there's going to be snaps taken away. There's going to be a rotation.
I'm surprised, honestly, boys, that we didn't say Derek Barnes.
I think Derek might. Oh yeah, I didn't say it. Think of that.
Derek Barnes, man, he's going to.
He'll be up there.
He'll get a couple sacks.
How many think?
Happy birthday to Derek Barnes, Klotz.
Shout out to him.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
Well, maybe Derek Barnes will be on our top 15 or top 10 Detroit athletes.
Say top 15.
Maybe he'll be on our top Detroit athletes.
Just alluding to his.
Yeah, that's what a day, man. That's hilarious. All right,
Cool.
let's get to that. Let's get to that.
Jeff, you go first.
Yeah, we did our top 10 Detroit athletes. I'll go first. I'll show you mine. Of course, but Boone, you want to see mine, don't you? We're going to have some similar things on here, Boone. You'll know why, but we'll have some similar things on here. Let me see.
What is this voice that I'm listening
I don't
to? I
know.
feel like I'm being seduced. You want to see mine first, don't you, Boone?
Okay, all right.
Common. Just hold on.
All right, here's my top 10 Detroit athletes right now. Let's get to it. All right, here's my my list. So as you can see, at number 1, you just give him the Cy Young Award now. All right.
All
And
right,
you
this is
talk
good.
about players, Tarek Skubal. There should not be a list without Tarek Skubal as the best Detroit athlete right now. So I don't want to hear it. If you're one of the best in your respective sport, you're number 1 in Detroit. Okay. So that's all I got to say. I would hope that we all have Tarek Skubal at number 1. All right. Number 2, Penei Sewell. Love Penei. I love Penei. I think he's, he's a freak. He's one of the best at his position, if not the best. He is, you can make a case as an overall football player, one of the best athletes and everything, but he's not quite Skubal when it comes to in his own respective sport. So I'm sorry, as much as I love Penei Sewell, but he's number 2. Number 3, Aiden Hutchinson. I got Aiden in there. I think player-wise, we talk about top 5 edge rusher. He's incredible. So I think these 3 should be pretty consistent with everyone. I think it should be Skubal, Sewell, Hutchinson. For the top 3 guys. Number 4, my guy, Cade Cunningham. He's in there. I think he's a top 10 NBA player. All NBA team, 3rd team, but still should have been 2nd team. Led a team to the playoffs. He's in the top 5. So if you want to argue, I see J Hart, Cade over Hutch. The only reason why I gave the edge to Hutch is Hutch is top 5 at his position. Cade, that's tough. I mean, I guess in today's NBA, you don't really know who's a guard, combo guard, 2 guard. It's a lot more complicated. But Cade is one of the better players at his position. I just think Hutch and what he's going to do. He's on pace last year to potentially break the sack record. So I gave the slight edge to Aiden here. At 5, Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs is one. I mean, you rank running backs right now, fellas. 1 and 2. Saquon, Jahmyr.
Yep.
There you go. That's my case. It's literally Jahmyr. And as much as you guys accuse me of the Jahmyr Gibbs slander when it comes to paying him, but we can all admit if you're number 2 at your position, you're a pretty good player. All right, you're a pretty good player. Jahmyr Gibbs at 5. Number 6, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, I guess in terms of player, he's 6th. But he's still on the list. He's an all-pro. I get it. He's I would say he's probably top 5, top 6 wide receiver in the league. We know what he can be. We know what he is. I get it. All right, it's still a pretty good accomplishment here. Number 7, Mo Sider's on the list. Mo Sider should be on everyone's list. I don't know. You two, we're going to get through this. It's one of the best defensemen in hockey. So, like, if he's not on a list, I might as well.
He's not on my list. I'll just say it. He's not.
It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. If you want to go popularity, cool. You can go all that. If you want to go player, cool. He makes a case for both, Mo Sider. And then number 8, got Jared Goff. Let me explain. I think Jared, I think at one point the Jared Goff chants were alive and well.
I hate those things.
I think they've started to die down. They've started to die down. So the popularity thing, he's still the quarterback of the Lions. I get all that. But as a player, he's probably top 10 in the NFL in terms of quarterbacks. So that's why he's not higher. The guys that are higher than him on my list are higher at their respective sports positions, whatever they specialize in. They're higher. They're better. So that's why I have Goff lower. And then at number 9, Riley Green's on the list. I don't got Torque. I got Riley Green, better player, although Torque's having a pretty amazing year. Got Riley Green on here. Number 10, I got another Red Wing. I got Dylan Larkin. All right. And Dylan, I thought about
captain.
That was a tough one. I think you got to give him the respect. I mean, had 70 points this past season. Him and Stevie got beef, but as a player, he's pretty good. So he had to at least make the list. And if you want to factor in popularity, it pretty much cements it. He's the captain of the Red Wings. So that's my top 10 list, boys.
Yeah.
I have my opinions, but we'll get to it.
Is there one that you could say, Klotz, that because there's one for me. Maybe it's just a me thing. but can I just say it without?
Go for it. Yeah, you go for it.
I would
Give
say
me-
it like Jared at 8, in my opinion. One thing I noticed you kept saying with a lot of the Lions players was top at their position, top at their position.
Yes.
Like you didn't take popular. Okay, we're talking about an MVP finalist.
Not finalist.
I know, but he was a
MVP.
finalist. He was
a
top 5 in MVP
five.
at the end of the season,
Yeah.
which he was a finalist. Yes, he was a finalist.
Lamar and Josh, those are finalists.
No. The finalists are the people who go to the awards, and they are the last 4 or 5.
He really wasn't winning that thing, Boone.
Who cares though? He's a
All right,
finalist. He is an MVP finalist this year, and you're gonna tell me that you're gonna rank all these players, Mo Sider above him, who's never been in an MVP conversation.
Having Mo Sider in front of Jared Goff is fucking insane.
Yeah, like Amon-Ra. I love Amon-Ra, 2-time All-Pro. He's not even in Offensive Player of the Year conversations the last 2 years. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's getting there this year, and he's finally getting to that conversation. He wasn't really last year. Cade Cunningham, never in an MVP conversation. Hutch, defensive player. Okay, I can get that.
No.
But to me, it's just if you're going to use. No, I'm not saying. Listen. I'm not. Hold on. I'm not saying that he should be over all those guys. But what I am saying is, listen, just hear me out. But he needs to be higher. The fact that this guy's an MVP caliber player. He's a finalist for MVP. And he is the face of your franchise. To me, when I did my list, and you'll see it in a little bit, I took into account fan base, like base of franchise, on the field play, I took everything into account. It wasn't just, hey, how good of a player are you? No, it's, hey, you're a Detroit athlete. Do the fans like you? Do the fans get behind you? Are you the face of a franchise? Tarek Scuba right now, he should be number 1 on everyone's list. Face of the franchise. Has a chance to win a back-to-back Cy Youngs. But to me, it's like, and Easy said he's only an MVP because he's played quarterback. Still, you got to give him credit for it. It's like, you have to, right? You have to give him credit for it. If you're going to use those statistics for everyone else, let's be consistent a little bit, in my opinion. That's all. 8th is wild, I think.
Yeah,
for a quarterback that was an MVP
This
finalist.
is what I believe. I think Goff's a top 10 quarterback. You know, he's really good. Just because you have a good year, it does bump you. I agree. You want to bump them? Cool. I just think that the players that are above them, I think deserve to be above them, in my opinion. Like, I just think you got to acknowledge.
It's a great excuse. Hey, you know what? That's a good rebuttal. In my opinion.
I mean, there's not much. I don't think, like, I'm shocked that your MVP standard, put him 1 then. You know what I mean? If MVP.
No, I mean, I think there are people who all around are better.
So now we're okay. Thank you. Now we're.
But no, that's why I think all of it gets factored in. You just didn't factor in the MVP at all.
No, I factored in the MVP, but
you
I'm not
behind Mo Sider.
Players are better players. They're better players. And to Easy's point, like, he does have a point. He played quarterback, you know. So like, none of these guys are going to win MVP.
Boo-hoo.
Like, Jahmyr had 2,000 scrimmage yards, and he broke the Lions franchise record for total touchdowns in a season.
And Jared Goff had 4,000 back-to-back seasons with 37 touchdowns this last year.
Awesome. That's why he's 8th.
Oh,
like,
okay.
these guys ahead of him.
Let's move on. Klotz, let's get your list.
All right,
Do you want me to go next? Is yours far off?
No, I'll go next. Boone.
All right.
Because honestly, Boone, you're going to be mad again about Jared Goff.
Jared,
it's not as
disrespectful,
low.
though.
It is not as low, but I had an issue with Jeff's, and it's because he said unanimously. Oh no,
you have just as low.
At A too.
Oh my
unanimously,
gosh.
Tarek Skubal should be number 1. Let's backtrack a little bit, fellas. Okay. When you think, let's close our eyes. Group session here. Okay. Close your eyes and you think about Detroit sports. You think about who?
Jared Goff.
Yeah,
so
that's why
the
we don't
Lions.
do that.
You think about the Lions team-wise. And the Lions are what kind of turned around the whole Detroit sports look. The Pistons are now good because they're gritty. The Tigers are good because they're gritty. The Detroit Lions are what you think of when you think of Detroit sports. And the man who was the best player on the Detroit Lions, we all talk about as far as being a gold jacket guy. When you look at Penei Sewell, if you were to look at any other Detroit Lions, you're saying, if I had to pick one Hall of Famer, one guy to bet on his legacy, it's Penei Sewell, who is the best at his position. I don't give a damn. I think he's better than Tristan Wirfs. I think he's better than Trent Williams. Penei Sewell is the best offensive lineman, period, in football. If you want to disagree, fine. But I'm taking Penei Sewell. If I had to pick one offensive lineman in the NFL to protect my quarterback, I'm taking Penei. So he is the identity of the Detroit Lions, in my opinion, as far as the best player, the guy who started this whole franchise. He was the first draft pick by Brad Holmes. That's the guy who's the foundation of the Detroit Lions. He's the best player on the biggest team. It's Penei Sewell. Next is Tarek Skubal for all the reasons that Jeff mentioned. He is the best pitcher in baseball without a doubt. He's performing at, the best team in the AL. He was coming off a good year last year, but he is without a doubt. He just pitched 9 innings of straight fucking gas. And he is the best pitcher in baseball, the face of the franchise right now for the Tigers. And the Tigers, historically, going back, I mean, so are the Pistons, so are the Red Wings. But when you look historically, the Tigers are huge in Detroit. And I think right now they're the second best team. And Tarek Skubal, best player on there. Third, Aiden Hutchinson. I think when you talk about Penei, Aiden Hutchinson in a similar light. But again, if you had to pick one, who's the best player out of these guys, it's pulling hairs. But I'm taking Penei Sewell. So Aiden Hutchinson, Tarek Skubal, Aiden, and Penei Sewell should be the top 3, but I think Penei Sewell, without a doubt, should be 1. Next is Cade Cunningham at 4, just for the same reasons that Jeff was saying. Like, Cade Cunningham is face of the Pistons. I think he's a top 10 player in basketball going into next year, and he's going to start having these seasons where it's like, okay, Cade is going to be an MVP type of candidate. Hasn't got to that level yet, but you can see it, and he's just a gifted player. Amon-Ra, I think, just embodies what the Detroit Lions are all about. I think he's been around, again, that first regime with Penei Sewell, and you just look at him. He didn't have 1,000 his first year, but then you look at second year, 1,000 yards, then all pro. He's a Hall of Fame type of guy on that type of pace, and I just think he embodies what the Lions are. So Amon-Ra, I think, is 5. Jameer is 6. Jeff, I think you had him at 5, but to the same reasons. Like, this dude, yes, he's younger, but he's going to be the guy that they talk about after Barry Sanders, who is the best running back in Detroit Lions history. It's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. He's the most talented player on this offense skill-wise, in my opinion. I think he can take a screen pass, 70 yards, a run 70 yards, and he can run over a defensive back and juke him out of his shoes. And he's just one of the most electrifying players to watch in the NFL, period. And again, I just think when you look at who's the best player at their positions, Jahmyr Gibbs is top 2 on the Detroit Lions. And I think there's tons of fans that are saying this guy's going to be an offensive player of the year. So you have that notoriety and respect when you think of the Detroit Lions. Riley Green. I think Riley Green and Jared Goff are in the same tier for me. Like, it was going to be Green or Jared Goff. The reason I did this is because, like, do I want to have 3 straight lines or do I want to give some Tigers some credit? Because you'll notice no Red Wings in this list. You got to show me. Nah, dude. Nah. I don't care. I used to not watch the Tigers. The Tigers gave me a reason to watch them. I don't think of the Red Wings now when I think of Detroit.
I'm the biggest
sports.
hater, but you have to understand.
What if
that
the
is
Red Wings
crazy that
turn on the TV? I don't give a damn. No Red Wings on my top 10. You got to do something to be on the top 10.
Hobby Buy is at 10.
I was thinking maybe, you know what?
Recency
maybe I'll
bias.
throw in Dylan Larkin in here somewhere. But I was like, no, I won't. I refuse. Gentry, the Red Wings, they got to show me. They got to show me. So Jared Goff, Boone, you and Jeff, you went at it. We're going to rebuttal, or you're going to rebuttal in a second. But Jared Goff, he's at number 8 for me. Spencer Torkelson.
Oh.
Now this is where we're getting into when I'm thinking of Detroit sports right now.
Torque and Bias over Frank
Torque
now.
and Bias.
I mean,
nope. Give me them, Boone. He's on his way to be an all-star. He's a number 1 pick. The story and what Torkelson will be. It's very romantic. It's very baseball. Very Detroit. He was gritty, found his way to go above, and he's a very good player. So give me Spencer Torkelson at 9. And then at Javi, you got to do it. Somebody's got to throw him on here because of the season he had. So I'll be the guy to do it. Javi's getting on a top 10 list for this year. He's cooking. So until he shows otherwise, that's more of like I refuse
Klotz
to put Red Wings on this
started his whole rant with how the Lions are the face of Detroit. Why would you have Tarek at number 1? And ended with, let me put all the Tigers on this list.
Because I won't put
3 of the last 4 on the list, he went Tigers. Like Frank Ragnow doesn't exist.
He does, but the Lions
like Brian Branch or Kirby Joseph don't exist. Oh, you were thinking about them. That doesn't do anything to not have him on the list. Thinking does nothing.
I went with the Tigers.
You just went on a rant saying that the Lions are the face of the city. Jeff's list clears yours list by a mile. I'm sorry.
But here's the thing, Boone and Klotz,
I would rather have Mo than
Klotz, like here's the thing with the Red Wings, like, oh, they gotta show me. You bring up football in this city, It's hockey time.
Yeah,
No,
Come
it's not.
on,
No,
Klotz.
it's not.
No.
Not as of
it's
right
not.
now. Not as of right now.
Exactly.
Klotz.
Thank
But
you.
no,
This
no,
isn't
no.
an
Hold on,
all-time
hold on.
list. This is right now. We're
No,
not talking about back when D-Mac was hanging up Stanley. We're not talking about that.
Hanging
no.
up Stanley Cups is
Hanging
a
up.
wild
Shut up,
statement.
We're not talking about that. That's not. We're talking about
Hockey draft.
He didn't
2025.
say banners. He said hanging Stanley Cups.
He's hanging out.
Put him
Stanley
in. Put him in his cover.
How would
Put
you
him in
even
his
hang the
cupboard.
cup?
that just clicked in my head what he said.
We're not talking about that. The Red Wings. I'm sorry. They're sad.
No, you
It's
can't do
sad
that,
to watch.
Klotz. It is,
You gotta-
but
you gotta
there's
make-
respect, dude. They're
No,
not.
because this is top 10 Detroit athletes. Okay. I don't think of
Honestly,
any Red Wings
me and
player off the
Mike,
top of my head when I go, you know
for the
what?
first
Who's the
time.
best player in
No, I
Detroit?
can't do this, man. I can't listen to Klotz go at the Tigers to start and then end with 3
I'm
or
not
4
going
Tigers.
at the Tigers. I'm going to not
Jeff's list.
Sewell.
And you know what, Klotz, the start of your list, honestly, because I was like trying to think like whose list could we post on social, just one of them on Twitter. And I was like, when I saw your first 6, I was like, all right, I might use Klotz's. And then I saw it end and I go, no, I'm not using Klotz's.
Javi Baez. All right.
Someone got to put. He's due. When I'm thinking
All
of
right.
Detroit sports right now, I'm thinking of Javi.
I haven't
All
heard
right.
Javi's
I'm
name
not
in
thinking of
I haven't heard
Mo
Javi's name in
Steyer.
a week.
Turn
Yeah.
on some Tigers
Yeah, that's
baseball,
fair.
Boone.
I've watched Tigers baseball. He's just
So you've
being
heard Javi Baez.
he's not
He's
I
not.
mean, he's
there's
still
stretches
good, but it's not like for
thank
the.
you.
He had a stretch of
Thank
ball where it was like this guy is
playing good
ridiculous.
ball.
He's just normal now, right now.
It's
Hanging up
more of like
Stanley Cups is
He's got to be
a
the.
wild
He's got to be.
statement.
He's got to be the scapegoat for the Stanley Cup.
Hey.
Stanley Cuppers at lacquer.
No, I no.
All
Could
right.
have done Casey
All right.
Mize to Nick Pease point.
Boone.
Yeah, this is
Justin
the
Henry
best.
Malloy.
The best for
God,
last.
give
No,
me
no, no, no.
the-
I'm gonna mute you real quick, Klotz. I'm gonna. All right. This is how everyone's list should look. The fact that Kirby Joseph or Brian Branch didn't crack anyone's list is insane. I went through and I said, all right, who are the faces of the franchises in Detroit right now? Number 1, Tarek Skubal is the face of the Detroit Tigers. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball, the best pitcher in baseball, one of the best players in all of Major League Baseball. He has to be number 1 on the list. He is having back-to-back seasons the most dominant performances that we've seen. Number 2, I'm not even going to break this list down a ton because you guys already talked about every player. You guys know what Penei Sewell is at number 2. To me, there are 2 faces of the franchise for the Detroit Lions right now. It is Penei Sewell and Jared Goff. Penei Sewell, you could argue, is the best football player in the entire league of the National Football League. You can make that argument if you want to. Number 3, Cade Cunningham, face of the Detroit Pistons, in my opinion, top 10 in the NBA without a question. There is no doubt he's a top 10 player in the NBA right now. He should be top 3. Those are the guys that should be top 3 on this list. Those are the 3 best players currently right now in the city of Detroit. Do you guys have any questions? Those are the 3 best players out of in their respective leagues.
I think
Correct.
we all agreed. You just continue.
Okay.
You and Jeff
No.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, whoa.
Before you guys start talking about the rest of the list, let me
No,
finish my
I have
list.
a problem with the top 4.
I asked about the top 3.
Wait, you
Top
said
three, whatever
I'm
the hell you're talking about.
you said Skubal, Sewell, and Hutch, right?
Cade. They're the best. They're the best top 3 players in
Yes,
the
top three,
the
no.
city of Detroit right now. When you talk about their respective leagues, those 3 top 10, Cade Cunningham,
So you're just saying
top
you're
10,
putting,
Penei Sewell, Tarek Skubal, number 1 pitcher in baseball. There is without a doubt those are the top 3 players
so yeah,
currently
I'm
in.
just asking, so I can,
Yes, Klotz. Yes,
I
Klotz.
did
Yes.
not get my question out.
Well, I'm going through my
you're-
list.
I know, but I want to make sure I'm understanding as we're going. So you're having this because you're taking the best Tiger, best Lion, best Piston. That's what you're doing here.
No, you're not listening. They're the best 3 players at the position, and they are also the faces of the franchises in the city of Detroit right now. When fans look at them, they go Tarek Skubal, Penei, Cade. Like, those are the top 3 guys right now. They are the best in their respective sports, and they are the most well-known faces of the franchises in the city of Detroit right now. Those guys. Number 4, Jared Goff. Klotz, you talk about how the Lions are king right now. Football is king. Jared Goff is your starting quarterback in Detroit. He has led the team to back-to-back playoffs. He took you to the NFC Championship game, 15-2 season. I don't care if you lost and he had the turnovers. And he was a finalist for MVP. And he is also, with Penei Sewell, the face of the Detroit Lions. He is the guy that gets all the blame when they lose. And when things go right, everything goes to Jared Goff, and you hear the Jared Goff chants. Outside those top 3, Jared Goff should be the next one to fall in line there, whether you don't like him because he has the turnovers or not. Face of Detroit, face of the Detroit Lions, and that man was an MVP conversation last year down the stretch and was a finalist. Number 5, I took my next best player for the Detroit Lions, Aiden Hutchinson. The man has a chance to be, he should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year if he doesn't get hurt. I throw him in there. He's the face. He grew up in Detroit or right outside of Detroit, went to Michigan, plays for the Detroit Lions. Everyone knows who Aiden Hutchinson is, and he is top 3, arguably, if he's healthy at his position. Amon-Ra, I had a problem with Amon-Ra and Jameer. This is the one that I was going back and forth with, and Riley Green. Those 3 guys there, I was like, Riley Green right now is playing at an MVP level. And he hasn't done it for years consistently. So I dropped him down and I put Riley Green at 8. But the fact that he's playing at an MVP level and doing what he does, he's at 8. Amon-Ra, the man's back-to-back 2 times all-pro wide receiver. Like 1,500 yards, 1,200 yards, 10-plus touchdowns every year. You have to put him there. I think Jameer has the 1 year. But again, Amon-Ra St. Brown, top 5 wide receiver. He's had the 2 years to prove it. And he is, in my opinion, right now, like the city of Detroit loves him. Fans love him. He is a media icon right now when it comes to the NFL. Like people love Amon-Ra. And then Jameer, I think he's on his way to do that. And he's obviously top 5 offensive player of the year. So you have to throw him at 7. And then to me, I had to give the Wings a little bit of love and throw the captain on there, Dylan Larkin. Jeff, I get you with Mo.
And you really didn't.
I get you with Mo. Jeff, I'm not going to sit here and argue that back and forth. I think the captain of the Detroit Red Wings in Hockey Town he's the face of the franchise. And it's not like he's a bum. He had 70-plus points again this year. Like, yes, you would like them to win. You would like it's the face of the Detroit Red Wings. You're throwing him at 9. He's one of the top athletes in the city right now. And then the last one, I had one last spot left. I said, you know what? Let me give Kirby Joseph some love. The 9 interceptions. The fans, this is one of the biggest fan favorites in the city is Kirby Joseph. So in my respective conversation, I took level of play and how big of an athlete he is in the city of Detroit. And Kirby Joseph's a guy that you just can't leave off that list when it comes down to it.
Take the Red Wings off. Move Goff down. I'm with it. I just think
the Red Wings thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like if you're one of the best, like I mean,
it's like we're calling it Hockey Town, like the Cowboys fans call
it. Klotz, you can't. The one thing you can't do is like argue that it's not Hockey Town. Like you keep doing that. To me, it's not even like a fun argument. It's like, to me, an annoying argument. Like, it's Hockey Town.
Is dead in Detroit.
Okay. That's where I can't. Hockey Town is Hockey Town. It'll always be Hockey Town.
It will be called Hockey Town, but Detroit hockey is sad to watch now.
Okay, you can say that, but you can't say Hockey Town's Hockey Town. That feels disrespectful.
Well, the Detroit Red Wings are sad to watch. And Dylan Larkin, past the season, was like, there's a lot of controversy with him. I'm not watching the Red Wings. I'm not. So when you talk about top 10 athletes, they don't come to my mind. The Tigers, I used to never watch the Tigers. Now I'm like, oh, Tigers are fun to fucking watch. They're pretty good.
See, that's where it's like you're giving a top. I can't do it. I can't, Jeff. I can't argue this.
Well, the thing, then you should say, well, then Lions players should all be at the top then.
Yeah. If you're like, I've never watched the Tigers. Obviously, like you're like, I've never watched the Red Wings, and it's like you're just taking them off.
I could have put more lines on there, but I'm gonna give Tigers some love. 2025.
So it's not a real list. He's just trying to show guys love. This isn't a real top 10 list for him. He's just trying to show guys love.
We look at 9. We look at Torque. Torque's having a year. He's a number 1 pick. Everybody counted him out. He's having an all-star type of season.
I would personally, I would rather have Kirby on here over than Torque, in my opinion. Like,
and Javi.
Love Torque and not, but even like I don't have Kirby on my list, but he would be like right there. Over
could have done it. Like I said, give some Tigers some love.
Well, I do have 2. I have Tarek and Riley on there.
We have 2.
Nah,
it's not about the list. Isn't about showing guys love and taking guys off because the Wings are bad. It's a top 10 list. It is top 10 best athletes, and it's that's.
So Boom, you have yours is mixed with everything. Obviously, where me and you differ, and it's not really worth arguing. No, it's well, Jared, but it's more popularity. I guess I didn't factor in as much than you, but we're going to be arguing semantics at that point, so it's not even worth arguing. But other than that, like I don't hate your list. I mean, a couple of guys we had a spot difference, so I don't think it's
Yeah.
like.
I think
that.
the top 3 should be the same for everyone. Like, I don't
See,
think
I
whether
have Hutch. The reason I have Hutch is because of what you said. I think what I get Cade and I understand it. I think the reason why I gave Hutch the nod is because you meant hometown, Michigan, number 2 overall pick. I mean, the guy, defensive player of the year, he's going to win that. Like, I just think, I think I will say this too. I think Hutch, this is why I factored in best player. That's why I have Panay, but popularity, Hutch is, besides Goff, the most popular Lion.
Yeah, that's why I had him next. I had Panay, Goff, and then Hutch, and I think that's fair. Like,
yeah, that's why I think Hutch is very. Not only is he a great player, but he's just because he's hometown, Michigan. He's elite. He's a great player. Everyone's all obsessed with getting him help, so obviously they love him a lot. But yeah, I don't hate this list. The only thing I would say is I wish Mo. I would even put Mo on this list over. Like, I think Mo as a player. I get you're saying again the popularity, so I understand Dylan. He's the captain. I get that. I would throw Mo in here. Maybe slide Jared a little down. We disagree, but that's about it. I like your list. I don't think it's a bad list. I just nitpick, but other than that, Klotzy, I got more of a bone to pick just because of Panay at 1. I disagree with that.
Oh my, yeah, go ahead, pick a bone. Panay Sewell is the best offensive lineman in the NFL. Would you agree or not?
Well, sorry, what was it? What would you say?
Panay Sewell, best offensive lineman in the NFL. Yes or no?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Tarek School, best pitcher in the MLB. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Which team's bigger?
yeah, but the problem is though. I'll say this.
Come on, Klotz.
I'll say this though. With Panay Sewell, like last year, like there are people who would argue around the NFL that there are other linemen that had a better year than Panay. I think you wouldn't, but this is my point. Hold on, this is my point of the argument. You keep interrupting, dude. My point of the argument is there are national media who would put other offensive linemen in front of Panay the last 2 years. Just, you know what I mean? Whether you agree or not. With Tarek Skubal, not one national media person would put anyone over Tarek over the last 2 years. Not one. Like, there's no question. Like, it is like a unanimous, like, Skubal's the best pitcher in baseball for the 2nd year in a row. With Sewell, there are people who could be like, yeah, maybe, the Lane Johnson or this guy or this guy. With Skubal, it's like a no-brainer. Like, there is not one pitcher that is touching what he's been doing the last 2 seasons. That's the thing. That's why I think it's like Skubal has to be number 1. It's like there is no question with Skubal over the last 2 years.
I agree with Boone. Yeah, like
I Panay Sewell, boys.
It's okay.
Without a doubt, lock to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Without a doubt. So that's when I hear that and I look at the Detroit Lions.
So is Skubal.
The Lions. What I look at the Lions and how the Lions kind of started this whole sports renaissance with Detroit sports actually being good. Who's the guy who started that all? Panay Sewell. So he's the face of the franchise, the Detroit Lions, and their best player.
Can I ask you guys a question? Would you take this trade?
Oh, I forgot about this.
I saw this trending. Everyone in the chat, yes or no? Would you take this trade? Celtics get Jaden Ivey and two future first-round picks. Pistons receive Derek White. And Baylor Shireman.
That's the one that really kind of swings the pendulum, in my opinion.
I'll tell you what. Do you guys want to honesty or do you guys just want to play into the fan base? What do you guys want?
I'm going to be honest. So I'll be honest. No, I wouldn't. And the reason why isn't because the 2 first-round picks and Ivy for Derek White. Fuck no.
No, let's do this straight up. Take those bottom 2 away. Straight up.
I think
that's the real question here.
Yeah, the trade, no way. Now, straight up, I would say no. I think it's close, though. I think it's closer because the thing with Derek White, what I love about Derek White is because he could play. He's a 2-way player. He could shoot the 3, and he can get you 15 a night, 16 a night. He can, and he'll have nights where he hits like 8 threes. Right? You can go into the whole fit thing. But I think who will be the better player? Jaden Ivey has a I think, a higher ceiling than that. I think Ivy can be a 20-plus point scorer in the NBA. So, like, I think Derek White is who he is, which, again, if you want to argue fit, okay. But for me, if I'm a GM, I'm keeping the younger player with a higher upside. That's my opinion. I would keep Ivy because I think he could be much better as a player.
If I'm being honest, I think the Derek White disrespect is insane. I think if you had an opportunity to get rid of Jaden Ivey and bring Derek White into this team, and you ran it back with this team and you added Derek White, a solidified NBA champion who has the same, if not better, numbers as Jaden Ivey, and he's done that on a team where he's the third option, and he's put the same numbers up as Jaden Ivey as number 2. I think you would rather, in my opinion, like if you're trying to win a championship the next 2 or 3 years, you know what Derek White is. Like, you know he's going to go out there and play great ball. He's going to defend, and he's going to help you win a championship. You're still like, to me, it's, you know, a little bit what Jaden Ivey's about. Yeah, there's that ceiling there. Is he ever going to get there? Do we know? No one knows. We know what Derek White's going to be. And if you bring him in and you add him to this team right now, you're contending in the East. Like you're sitting there with Derek White, Cade. If you bring back Malik Beasley, Tobias, Jaden, this exact team you ran it back with, if you had this Derek White on last year's team, this team's beating New York. They're competing with the Celtics, and they have a chance.
You didn't have Ivy, so you know what I mean.
But that's the point, though. If you add Derek White, like if right now, like you know what Derek White's about. Like he's won a championship.
Do you think if they had Ivy, they would have beat New York?
Yeah, but they probably would have lost to the Celtics. If you add Derek White, in my opinion, you beat New York, and you have a chance to beat the Celtics. Like you tore the Celtics apart, and you now have Derek White on your squad. And like to me, I think you beat the Celtics if you have Derek White this last year. I really believe that. I think Derek White, like there's a difference, and Jeff, you should know this too, man. Like there's a difference between just being able to go out there and hoop and get 25 and 5 than there is to getting 25 and 5, shooting 40% from 3, defending and playing championship basketball. We don't know if Jaden Ivey can play championship basketball. They were winning without him, and I'm not saying they would have lost with him, but like Derek White's a champion. On Team USA, he was playing over Jason Tatum. He plays winning basketball. This guy's not a bum. He was on Team USA playing over his star player on the Celtics, getting minutes. Like, this guy is a winner. Like, I think the disrespect of Derek White being on Jaden Ivey's level right now, Derek White clears Jaden Ivey today. And I don't think maybe it's a little close, but like, you're taking Derek White over Jaden Ivey 10 times out of 10 times going into next season. You are. Now, the ceiling we can have, that's a whole different conversation.
Well, that whole different
conversation. Yes, but again, it's like, you're trying to win a championship this year. Are you willing to wait and hope that Jaden Ivey is there? That's a risk, right? To me, it's safer Derek White.
I think Derek White, I love Derek White, so I'm not disrespecting him. But I think for Derek White, if you were to bring him into the Pistons, he'd be in a different role, yes. But I think Derek White, his best fit in Team USA is a good reference because they had so many great players already. He fits really well with other great players.
He's a chameleon. He showed there he could fit in with, if he needs to play a small role, a big role. Let's not act like we haven't seen Derek White without Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, where he's put up 40-plus points in nights that those two are sitting out. Like, this guy has stepped up in big moments for the Celtics team. This isn't a guy, it's like, hey, we've never seen him be the number 1 option. We've never seen him be number 2. No, we've got to see it a lot with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum out. And he goes out there and puts numbers up.
But what happens when they come back? He's right back to third. That's really
but that's because those players are, you're talking about all NBA players.
Take attention away. So he does.
Yes, and if they don't, you're proving my point. If he's on the Pistons and he's not with Jason Tatum and those guys, he's going to give you 20+ a game, and that's a fact.
He'll be more of a focus.
He was a focus when those guys are out, and he still puts 40 up.
Do you think so? You're telling me you think Derek White? Let me just make sure I'm hearing you correctly. He can be the second best team on a championship team. or second best player on a championship team?
I mean,
That's what you're saying. You said if they had him,
I wouldn't be shocked. Like if he
Yeah,
was
I
on
would
this
be
team
shocked.
last year, that's Pistons are out there winning some series last year.
I don't think they're contenders.
This
with
man versus the
Derek White.
Knicks had 34, 23, 20, 17, 19.
Yes, he's a good. I
He
like Derek White.
puts numbers up. I'm not saying he's going to be like a Jalen Brown,
you're
but
act- yeah,
I'm
that's
no,
what
I'm not
saying.
acting like anything. I'm just saying right now, Derek White's better than Jay Ivey. You're banking really hard on the fact that Jay Ivey will be
It's
a
not that
solidified
big
number
of a
2 in the
difference.
NBA. I think that there's more of a question out there for him to be a number 2 than there is for Derek White to be a number 2.
I disagree. I don't think Derek White can be the second best player on a championship team. I don't. And I
That's
love
fair.
Derek.
I don't know
know?
if Jay Ivey can either.
But I have faith that he can be a better player and be
Big word.
Okay. I mean, if you think he can be the second best player on a championship team, that's each his own. I
No,
don't think Derek
it's
White-
not. It's the
That's
fact
what
that
you're saying. That's what
we're
you're saying.
no. What I'm saying is Jay Ivey or Derek White to be your number 2. I'm taking Derek White over Jay
And it
Ivey.
ain't
I'm
gonna
not
do
saying
much.
he's a good number 2. I'm not saying he's Jalen Brown number 2, but he's right now today. I'm taking Derek White as your number 2 over at Jay Ivey because I know what Derek White is.
Okay, because you know what he is, you're going to take.
You're doing. You have two different arguments going. You tend to do this a
you,
lot.
You're the one who said it.
No, I
said
didn't. You have two different arguments
Hold
going
on,
here,
hold on.
brother.
You said if Derek White was on this team, they would be, they would champion. Well, they'd win a couple series. So you think with Derek White as the second option, it would be a lot different.
They almost beat the Knicks without the number 2 option. You add Derek White
to postseason.
They obviously play better because they have another guy.
Exactly.
You're arguing different. You're arguing different things.
I'm responding to what you said. Said
this is Jeff being.
No. You said it. You said if Derek White was on this team as a second option, they'd be way better and they might have a chance of making the finals.
Yeah, I think they would contend.
And I
with Derek White on that team, and I think with Jay Ivey, they win the first round as well. Like that's where I think you're like acting like I'm saying Jane. You're like saying, oh, Booner's saying Jaden can't. No, not at all. I just think with Derek White, like today, he's a better player than Jaden Ivey. What I'm saying, he's a better player. I didn't say he's a guaranteed or good number 2. I never said that. Stop putting words into people's mouths in conversations. I never said he's a good number 2. Hold on. He's not a good number 2. I'm not saying Ivey is or Derek White is. If I had to pick one to be on the squad today, that would be better. Derek White would be better on this team today.
So you're trading away your most valuable, your piece to, if you want to get a big player, it would be Jaden Ivey. You're trading him for Derek White. Now what? What player are you getting?
I like that squad.
So now you have Derek White again as your second best player.
I like that squad.
What does that team ceiling look like? And I ask you that. Now,
I think in the East, you can contend in the East.
You can win a championship.
I think you can contend to win the East with Derek White added to the squad you had last year.
As their second best player.
I think you can contend in the East with Derek's squad on the squad from last year.
Okay.
You keep asking different questions and trying to get me on nuances.
You're answering a question.
Listen, I had one statement. No, listen, stop trying to add different words.
No, dude, you keep saying that. You
add Derek White to last year's team, they contend to win the East.
There you go. That's what I wanted.
I didn't say nothing about number 2 or nothing.
Putting words in your mouth, and you just said
you keep saying number 2. I'm not saying the way they play. Tobias was the number 2. The way they play, the number 2. They play a very good team game. They play a very good team game. I don't care about the number 2.
So you're saying if you're saying, let me just again.
We're done with this.
Oh, see, he doesn't want to answer it.
Because you keep asking.
I'm clarifying what you're saying. I'm trying to clarify. Answer the question. If Derek White was on the team, you just said Tobias Harris would be the number 2.
I just don't think there's a solidified number 2. I think it's just a team ball thing. You have Cade, and then you have your squad, and I think you have a very, very good role.
And you're the guy, but you always tell me, Boone, you got to have stars to win championships.
Well, with SGA, the SGA thing's kind of killed that. The SGA thing's actually killed that.
I was told you need stars to win. And you're going with a guy who is what he is, which is a very good player, but he's not.
You're telling me though, like, Klotz, real quick, am I crazy for thinking if you add Derek White on the squad that this team wouldn't become like they wouldn't be contending in the East? I'm not saying for the whole thing, but the East, like Derek White's a winner,
I would say
dude.
yes. I think if the Cavs with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are contending in the East, I think that the Pistons with Derek White, Cade Cunningham, they could do it as well.
Okay, thank you. I maybe for a second I thought I was going crazy.
I think, but here now, let me put it to. I would keep Jaden Ivey. Boone, what you're saying about Derek White is very correct. But when I look at, I think the Pistons next year with Jaden Ivey can contend for the East. Now, I don't think that they're still going to be too young where they're not going to win a finals. But Jaden Ivey brings that upside where once you get out of the East and now you're in the actual NBA finals, who do I think has that thing where if they need to take over for a game, not saying that Derek White can't, but again, it's faith, like Jeff's point, that I think that Jaden Ivey in 2 or 3 years is going to give you what you want. Maybe not 3, but under his rookie contract is going to give you that and give you that those spots where it's like, we need somebody that can take the pressure away from Cade, go get a bucket in transition, be smart, and just take it off. Derek White can do that absolutely, but I just think with Jaden Ivey, he gives you a little bit more upside, more speed. Derek White's much better defensively. I won't argue that. But I would just rather play this process out with Jaden Ivey because, again,
do you see
I don't
what I'm
think
saying, though, Klotz?
and you can – what's up?
I'm just saying, do you see what I'm saying? Like, Derek White is a solidified winner, like, today.
I don't hate
Jaden, you don't know yet. Jaden could be a great scorer as fast as he is, be that type of athlete, all he wants. But it's like, what if you keep him for the next 3 or 4 years and he just you can't figure out how to win with him? He doesn't know how to win. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying, like, there's still big because we didn't see him this year. So it's like there's a big question mark. Is Jaden Ivey a winner? Can he help this team take a step forward? And, to me, Derek White is the same level as Jaden Ivey, except you've got to see him win a gold medal and fit in with that team, and you got to see him win an NBA championship and fit in with that team. And he has a different level that Jaden Ivey doesn't have, which is defend. It's like you know what you're getting. With Jaden, it's like, hey, there's still things we got to work on. We haven't seen him win with this team yet. Can he score as the number 2 with Cade? There's just so many still question marks out with Jaden to where it's like you had an opportunity to straight up trade those guys. You're probably going with the guy that's more reliable and you know what you're getting night after night for a full season and in the playoffs. That's been there in experience.
Again, I can't what you're saying is not wrong. I just think when you add Derek White as your number 2, theoretically, because that's what you're doing, swapping out Jaden Ivey, I think there's that kind of ceiling where it's like you can get out the East, but now when the West comes into play, I think it's much harder to hang around versus you bank on that faith and Jaden Ivey hits. That gives you, I think, a little bit more of a running chance. Because I think with JB, you're always going to have a good defensive team. You always
if it hits, you're and that's why I don't want people to think it's me not I would if they stay with Jaden, I think he has a high ceiling. I'm with Jeff. I think that can happen. There's just to me, it's like, hey, a guy who's done it and a guy who hasn't. There's that question mark. Are you willing to take that risk? And how big is that risk? I'm not in the building every day, so I don't know with Jaden Ivey. What is he looking like coming off a major injury? What is where is he at in his process? All of that. What is his mindset? So I think that's the big question at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's Derek White, very good player. Two-way
number
player.
2? I'm good. I'm not.
If Derek White's your 3rd best player, you're in a
very good spot.
Yeah, that's but he's like you said, Boone. He wins. I mean, I love Derek White. He's the type of player you know.
I wouldn't hate having a number 2 player that's just a winner. Remember the Suns team that went to the finals? Who was their number 2 best player?
Which were you talking?
The Suns team that went to
with Devin Booker.
With
Devin Booker.
They had Devin, Chris, and DeAndre Ayton.
Okay, now is Chris Paul at that point of his career? You're that's a good number 2. No, but he is a winner, and that was a big thing. And I think it's
okay. But now we're comparing Derek White to Chris Paul.
No, but I'm not comparing him as a player or anything. But I'm trying to give an example of teams that have won championship, Tyrese with Pascal Siakam. I guess Pascal's a good number 2. That's a bad example. I like Pascal a lot. I don't know. There are championship teams who have had number 2s to where it's hey, maybe he's not a number 2 on a different team because he's not a superstar, but he's a really good number 2. I
think he is.
I'm trying to brainstorm.
Yeah,
'Cause they
LeBron in
always need,
Miami.
like that
I'm
three.
kidding.
I was gonna think like LeBron, Kyrie, kept like I'm trying to think of that.
Yeah, no, I see, but I don't know.
Maybe like Jimmy and Bam.
That's a great one. That's a good one.
No, that's not, dude. No.
Those guys are both could be ones.
I know, dude. Like Bam's an all-star, like multiple times.
Oh, perfect one. Toronto with Kawhi. You had Kawhi, and then you had Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Kyle,
Or DeRozan though.
DeRozan wasn't on that team.
No, they didn't have DeRozan.
Siakam was like young. He wasn't a number two.
He was, I think.
But that was also
That's
like
a great
the
one. But if you want
Warriors lineup went down in the
no,
final.
if you want, hey, no,
Like-
don't discredit a championship. We don't do that.
I mean,
here.
it was true. I mean, everyone got hurt. KD
Hey, there was a
played.
question that people were saying we need to answer. Someone's question. Who was that? Did you guys see?
I didn't. Drop it in the comments again so we can go up and get it.
Someone said answer this guy's question. I don't know what it was. I just read it. Maybe Jeff, did you start it?
No, I started a question, and Malik says, "Mailbag, how come we haven't brought up that Davenport during Davenport's healthiest season? He had a half a sack and only 1.5 sacks in 11 games in one season. Even though he's healthy for a while, which player do we get?"
At our old employer, we used to call him half a sack Davenport before he signed with the Detroit Lions.
Hey, never thought of that one.
That's tough.
Let's act like those seasons just didn't happen. All right.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Got him for a vet minimum though.
Hey, for those watching, Tyler didn't join today, but he's joining tomorrow. So Tyler Conklin tomorrow. Appreciate you all. I'm excited. What a great week.
What was that
Derek White and
question?
Jaden Ivey talk. Wow.
Oh, it was John effing Lord. Hold on, I'm going back, boys. I'm going real far back. Can someone just drop the thing in there? Are we being trolled? Am I being trolled right now, Jeff?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Drop the question again. It was John effing Lord. He said they won't answer mine.
I didn't know. You guys know that Michael Turner, the former Falcons running back, rushed for 1,700 yards?
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, we're not answering this.
I heard a lot of ish between Doc and you guys agreeing with him that you fuck around, he bites back at the end. I mean, there's a ring with a waiver sign 2 miles down the road.
What? I heard a lot of ish between Doc
does
and
that
you guys
mean?
agreeing with him that you fuck around and he bites back at the
What
end.
does that even mean?
I think John Lord,
that the
with all due
Doc?
respect, you might need to put the bottle down, John Lord. I think John was mentioning he was doing some shots, so I think John might be a little.
I mean, there's a ring with
You
the
might-
waiver sign, so he wants to.
Hey,
he
John,
wants to fight.
John, put some H2O in you, all right? I don't know what's going on right now, but hey, we'll get out of here. Appreciate you all. Much love to you, John, as well. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Love you guys. Peace. Tyler Conklin tomorrow.